everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Long time no see.
We're back.
It's been forever.
It feels like friggin' forever. There's been a lot of craziness, and we were gone for it was like almost a month, I feel like.
Feels like it. Hi, Sherry.
Well, we're glad
hello.
to be here, and so glad that you guys are here too. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for not forgetting about us.
I just realized I don't have my chat thing up. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I know. I was like, something's missing. It's been so long since we've been doing this. Oh my goodness.
We leave for 1 month and all of a sudden we forget how to stream.
I know. Well, actually, I was a little bit late in coming back because I was driving back from meeting a friend, and the bridge was shut down. So I sat there for like ever, and I was like, "Fuck, dude!" So I had to turn around and come back over here. So I'm a little late in my arrival, but it's okay. Made it just in the nick of time. Yes.
What was it? We got promotions popping up in the chat.
Promotions. Come on now.
Promotions.
Don't follow us.
Right.
We're just going to come spam some shit. Come
Yeah.
on now. No, thank you.
Band.
Yep. Come
Okay.
on. Like right out the gate. Come on. Who falls for that
Thanks
shit
for the
anyway?
follow. Let us sell you some shit.
I know, right?
Okay, no.
Come on.
Never mind.
Knock it off. Oh, well, hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
How's
everyone?
how's the month been for you guys? Hopefully you guys had a very good December. Hopefully it was better than our mid-December, which was filled with chaos. I hope your
Yes.
holiday season was good.
Yeah, everything just seems to be as difficult as possible these days for everyone. Like, just I don't know why. Seems like nothing can be easy anymore.
I know,
It's
but
just the way of
hopefully
the
this
world.
next year is going to be better. I'm really banking on it.
Yep, we're cusping right now. We're slowly coming out of 2022.
yes.
So there's lingering difficulties that us and others are dealing with, but they're moving along. They're moving out. 2023, it's coming up. It's gonna be good.
It's got to get better.
Yeah, the new moon is this Saturday, so new start, fresh start.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing
I'm
it.
super ready. Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. Some of you guys that are my Facebook friends or just like personal friends probably saw a little bit about emergency surgery that I had to have on Christmas Eve, which is the coolest Christmas present of all time.
Yeah.
I got my gallbladder removed just in time. I was supposed to fly to Europe on Christmas Eve, and instead I sat in the hospital for 3 days and then had surgery on Christmas Eve. So that was not the best Christmas present ever. It was a little bit chaotic for sure. And I found out I had COVID while in the hospital too, which thankfully I was asymptomatic. I didn't have any symptoms. Dusty ended up having it as well, also asymptomatic. So let's just take a moment and acknowledge how awesome that is that we both had COVID and didn't get sick. So that's awesome.
Had it and didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it, but it was very inconvenient
Yeah.
timing, I would say, because I'm in the hospital and they just do the test just to check, and they're like, "You have COVID," and I'm like, "I do not," and they're like, "No, you really do." I was like, "Fuck." So it was pretty crazy. Yeah, if we can take an awesome trip during Mercury retrograde, you can do
Yeah.
anything.
Mercury and Mars both in retrograde,
Fucking A, man.
but they're both ending by
It was crazy.
the 16th. I just read about this. So Mercury just ended. It's not in retrograde anymore. And then Mars comes out in, I think it's the 16th is when Mars comes out of retrograde.
Which is today.
What's today? Oh, sweet.
So rock on. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
Yeah,
do
see?
it.
It's a brand new day.
Yeah, it was everything was pretty crazy there for a bit. But having that surgery and everything, it was like almost seeming like all these signs are pointing towards like maybe we just shouldn't go on this trip. And then it was like, I have to go on the trip. If we don't go on the trip, it's gonna be worse. So let's do it. Just rip the organ out, sew me
away.
up, give me a couple days, and then let's fucking go. So that's exactly what we did.
So we did.
And
we tested negative for COVID the day before we left. We took a test and it was like negative. We're like, all right, yeah,
cool.
everything's coming up us.
So that worked out pretty good in the end. You know, there's always a bunch of crazy stuff, but there's always good to come out of it, and making sure to acknowledge the good, acknowledge the shitty things as well, because they are relevant, but to make sure to acknowledge the good things is very, very important, keeping that balance and not getting lost in a shitty cycle. So we made sure to not
We didn't get lost.
do that. No, we did not. We did not. So yeah, so we are back. We just got back like 2 days ago, and we've been fighting the jet lag on the way back, but I think maybe today's the first good solid day.
I feel like we're getting back on it. I'm trying to use the jet lag, trying to use those hours that I got on to try and keep my schedule kind of where I want it to be. So I'm not sleeping until 4 and 5 in the afternoon anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm actually waking up at a decent time.
Trying to adjust it a little bit, a wee tad, I
But
guess.
waking up at 6 a.m. is not what I'm looking for. So I'm finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
Didn't need that.
Fell asleep at 9 p.m. the day that we got back, and woke up at like 8, and I was like, oh no, this is not okay. Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
What is
oh
happening?
no.
Yeah. It's funny when we wake up early like that, like we just don't know what to do. We just gotta like, I don't know, at least I found myself just kind of laying in bed and just kind of got up and wandered around the house for a minute, and I was like, I don't know what to do with the morning. Like, I don't know what happens
What's
in
the
the morning
point
time.
of morning? Like, it's
why
horrible.
am I here? Who am I? Yeah.
Hold on. Tell a story real quick. I'm gonna go get.
Tell a story. Tell a story.
Oh,
Once upon a time.
I'm trying
Yeah.
Now I'm just trying to find a cord to plug in my thing. Oh wait, is there one right here?
Oh, we got all kinds of cords.
Sick.
You
Okay.
need cords. We got cords.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We bought new cords on the trip because, because all the cords that we brought extra cords, and they all just quit working. Of course they
On
quit
top
working.
of all the other craziness,
Yeah, so
we brought
new
3
cords.
charging cables, and 2 of them went to shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was my phone for a little bit. I thought my phone was fucked up, and I was like, oh no, the battery of my phone. Like, am I going to have to buy a new phone on this trip? Like, oh no, because it wasn't charging. But really, it was just the charging cables. But it's funny because I was like, oh, maybe it's this one cable. And then Dusty's like, okay, use mine. And I was like, no, it's not working.
It's not working.
My phone's fucked. And then we realized both of our cords
Yeah, just both
were
cords.
fucked up.
Just
So
not
it was
working.
kind of funny.
So we bought new ones. Got
Yeah.
those. Yeah. And then I had to buy an auxiliary cable for my headphones because I got Bluetooth headphones. Didn't think about it. Didn't bring my auxiliary cable. But whenever you're on the plane and they got movies, you want to plug in and watch a movie. So I was like, oh, I didn't bring my aux cable. It's like, I'll just buy another one. So I bought another one. It was like $10 for an auxiliary cable that I don't need because I have like 12 of them here at the house. Bought this cable, unboxed it, took it out on the plane, and I went to plug it into my headphones. And of course, the headphones have their own weird little auxiliary cable where it's a smaller plug. It's not even a normal plug, so it didn't even fit. So I just bought like a $10 auxiliary cable that I couldn't use and ended up just watching movies on my phone anyway. It's like that. Okay, good. This is great. So if anyone needs an auxiliary cable, I got one. You just let me know.
And then actually, when we needed to buy a new phone cable, I went to this little shop and was like, okay, I need this cable. And the guy had to come and like undo the thing and grabbed me a micro USB, not a type C. So I was like, babe, I got a new cable. Fuck yeah, at least we got one that works. And then I looked at it and it was not what we needed
Wrong
at all.
one.
And I was like, oh my God. So
Yeah,
it was just so
so-
funny. It's just been very
It's- yeah.
silly lately.
Because nothing is easy. Nothing's easy
No.
anymore.
But
so you need cables. We got
yeah,
cables
we got you covered.
left and right. We got you covered.
But it's okay. We're grateful for the blessings that we have and all the good things that happen, and it's very important to be mindful and aware of the good things.
Definitely.
Which I will say, our trip that we took, it was a fantastic voyage.
That it was.
We had
I got a new
really-
hat. It's corduroy on the front. It's a little red corduroy. Oh.
Yes. And where did you get that hat?
I got this one in. We went to like 1,000 different places. Colmar. We were in Colmar. In this little village that was the cutest little village we've ever seen in our entire life. And why it's not like #1 tourist destination on every list, I don't know why. Like especially
don't
for
know
like
either.
honeymoons and like I don't know, like lovers trips and something like that. Like
It's extremely like
very cute.
romantic.
Yeah,
It looks like the most romantic place of all time.
that it does.
Actually, Beauty and the Beast was based off of this town and this region. There's a few towns in the region of France that we were in that have been used for Disney movies because of how ridiculously adorable that it is. So they were like, "What's the cutest place ever? We should have Disney movies in." And like, boom,
Yep.
that was it.
That was it.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Definitely loved that magical aspect of it. It was so cute. Like, I don't think that there's anywhere cuter ever. Like, I don't know if it's even humanly possible to be cuter, which I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to find the post and I'm going to show you guys. I figured I'd go through some of my Facebook posts in this wonderful episode here
We
to
should
show
go
you guys.
chronologically through the trip, though.
Oh, we could do that. Okay.
I'll just open up your photos and roll through there chronologically, right?
Oh, that's not a bad idea at all. You're so
Not a bad
fucking
idea.
wise.
You know,
Yeah, just do the
sometimes I have ideas.
Sometimes you
Sometimes
do.
they're not terrible.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they are.
Okay. Now, if I could find my photos. Because every time they change things on Facebook, I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I know, and like I keep opening up pages on Facebook and like trying to go to photos, and the photos is just not there on some pages. Others pages, it's totally there. It's right where it is supposed to be, and then others, it's just like photos are gone. This person doesn't have photos.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, before it
Why?
gets to be easy, there's like a big button that said, photos.
Yeah,
There you go. See all photos. Okay. They just change it up all the time. Gotta keep getting
Jeez.
toes.
everything's different always. Just make it think difficult.
Always.
Oh man, but this trip overall, epic trip. We saw so much. It was a great. We kept calling it a sampler platter. It's a great sampler platter of mainly France, but Prague, Germany, France, Switzerland, London.
Yeah, there was so many different legs to the tour.
Yeah. What was
So
it, 5
originally,
countries?
yeah, 5 countries.
5 countries.
And 4 of them were new countries,
Yeah.
which is pretty damn cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So basically, the gist was originally we were going to have 4.5 days in Prague. So we were going to fly into London. This is the original plan. Is Christmas Eve we were going to leave, and then meet my dear friend Shannon. Actually, we should message Shannon and tell her that we're doing a trip recap right now
Yeah.
because
Come on.
Shannon should be here right now.
Why
Message
is
her.
Shannon not on?
I know Shannon should totally be here
Come on.
because I'd love to have her commentary as part of this.
Gonna call her and be like, "Hey, bitch."
So yeah, so the original plan, Shannon, who lives in Miami, was going to get on a plane on Christmas Eve too, and then was going to meet us in London on Christmas afternoon. Our flights were supposed to come in like 45 minutes apart, and we were gonna have Christmas dinner in London, and we had rented a really cute little place that was by the Tower of London. It was gonna be stellar, and then I was like, oh, sorry, I have to have an organ removed. I can't fly. You're on your own. You can, I think you should still go. She's a tough broad. So she was like, I don't want to go without you guys. I feel so bad. And I'm like, no, you better fucking go. So she goes, and I'm like, we're going to do everything we can to meet you. So we ended up arriving on the 29th. So she had a few days to herself. So she went and had Christmas dinner in London by herself, and then went to Prague. So she was in Prague. So by the time we got to Prague, she was like, "Oh, let me tell you about Prague.
tell you about some
I've
Prague."
been in Prague for like ages." And she
Yeah.
was showing us all the cool things,
Yeah.
and her local little markets, and the pubs and the whole thing, and the Christmas market. She was like walking us around everything. It was really cool, actually, that she like felt so good about the fact that she had been there and then could show us around. It was really neat. So I think it's good because it gave her confidence to know that like she could go anywhere by herself. And I know that she already knew that, but like actually doing it and feeling good about it, it's that extra confidence because traveling alone, it's definitely much different than having a team of people. It's a little bit more
Yeah,
intimidating. There's nobody
for
to
sure.
save the day, and you know
Especially when you're not prepared and like right up until she left, she didn't even know where she was going really. So it was like
that's true. Oh,
2 days before she left, she found out what her
that's
trip
true.
was and what was going on. Like, because it was all going to be a surprise. Like the whole thing was a surprise for her.
Yes,
She knew that she was flying into London, and then after that, she had no idea what was going to happen. So we had to like let her in on everything since we didn't know when we were going to be able to make it, but she had no idea what was going on or like what her trip was going to consist of until right before she left. And
yes.
so she was just like, I guess I'm in Prague now.
Yeah,
Like,
we had told you guys, some of you that were here in the past when we were talking about the trip ahead of time, was that like it was a surprise. Like she just was like, "Tell me how much money to give you guys, and plan the trip, and just fucking surprise me." And that's like kind of rare for anybody to have that much trust. But she's
yeah,
like, "I know how you guys travel. I trust you. So, um, just tell me where I'm flying into, and then don't tell me anything else." So that was part of the super fun of the trip, was like, oh
yeah,
man, it's all a surprise. I put so much time and energy into planning out this trip and all the details of everything, and so excited it was going to be a surprise. And then I had talked to her a few days before I got sick and everything, and was like, okay, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything, but tell me, where do you think we're going, like
yeah,
based on what information which is not much, like bring these clothes, essentially these kind of clothes. What do you think? And she named off a bunch of like pretty cool options, but none of them were right. So I was like,
no.
like she doesn't even
No
know.
idea.
So then
Yeah,
when I got sick, and like, you should still go, you can still do the trip we had planned, or you can like go rogue and do your own thing. I can help you figure it out. I was like, do you want to know what the plan was? And she was like, yeah, like let me know. And I told her all the things we had planned, and she literally cried. She was like,
yeah,
that is like a dream trip. Like, fuck. I'm like, fuck is right. Like, I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to do everything I can do to get there. But who knows? If I had some kind of complications after the surgery, if I had an infection or something like that, like
yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to go. So,
yeah.
hi, Kirby.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Thank
Hello.
you for resubbing.
Yeah, thanks for that
Awesome.
resub.
So we appreciate
Sweet.
you. Um, so, so yeah, we had to just tell her, this is the deal. This is
Hmm.
where we're going to go, but I'm going to do my best to fucking
Yeah,
make it happen. So we kind of had to spoil the surprise, but there was a lot of little things that we told her the destinations, but didn't tell her all the things that were
yeah.
planned. So there was still some surprises
She
that were
didn't know
kind of
all
in
the
there.
things that were at those destinations that we were going to be doing. So she knew, the towns and like the places that we were going, but she didn't know, you know, all the other cool shit that we were doing in the towns. So, or even what some of them were, like Colmar, like she had no idea because we barely knew what Colmar was. I mean, you did, like you knew, like through the research and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
You had,
Oh, I felt like I had that town
an
down
idea.
by the time
And
that
like
I went on the trip.
I had seen some of the pictures of it, so I knew, it's gonna be a cute town. It'll be fun, But like Shannon, just no idea what
No
Colmar is. She just knows little place in France. Okay, cool. We're gonna have wine and cheese. It'll be great. And then we roll up into Colmar, and she just like, what the fuck is
I was
this
like,
place? Like,
yeah.
yeah. So it was still a lot of fun.
It was
for
still,
sure.
yeah, surprises.
Yeah.
And it was funny because um, she had mentioned when I was asking, hey, where do you think we're going? Like, what ideas do you have? She said something about I don't know. We're probably not going to France. France would be cool, but I really just I don't know. I don't really care about Paris. Like, it's not something that I really care to, on top of everything else. Like, Paris is lower on the list, and it's funny because we kind of felt the same way where we went to 3 different destinations in France, and none of them were Paris. Which, it's not like I'm opposed to it, but it's not the first place that I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome when I heard her say that, because I was like, fucking awesome. Like, it would have been a bummer if we're going to Paris, and she's like, damn it, I just told you guys that. Like, sorry, like
Yeah.
I know you just said you didn't want to
She's
go
like-
there, but we're going there. But she was so happy. She's like, holy fuck, that's so awesome that you guys
Mhm.
planned all this shit in France, but not
Yeah,
Paris too.
for sure.
And she's like, I want to go to like smaller places. I don't necessarily want to go to all the main cities or whatever. And I was like, that's pretty much what we're doing on this trip.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So having her go out there first, it was really kind of neat, and then getting to like reveal things as it went along was so fun.
Yeah.
And even some
Yeah,
things
right
I
on.
told her she still didn't get. Like I told her, I was like, okay, when we're going to Carcassonne in the south of France, it's a medieval walled city, and we're staying in the walled city. And then when we pull up, it's like this epic fucking castle. And she's like, oh, are we staying in there? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, no, I've been telling you it's a medieval walled city. We're staying in the walled city. And she's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she did not believe us until we pulled up to the door and got out and like grabbed a suitcase, and she was like, "Wait, really? Like we're going in? We're staying inside?" And we're like, "Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying the whole time. Is we're going inside." It's just like, "Oh my god!"
She's like, no way. Like, we literally told you.
And it was cool because from the outside, like it does just look like a castle. Like there's the wall up, so you can't see what's going on. You really like couldn't tell how large it was from the outside, and we just like drove up as close as we could, and we still had to walk, but we had to walk through the gates of the wall because you can't drive into it. So we had to park right on the outside and walked inside. And whenever you're walking in, it looks like you're just gonna walk inside of a castle, but you walk through the gates and there's like it's a wall, and like you go through and there's like the spot where it would have been like the first door and like the bridge that goes over like what was a moat at one point, and then there's like the second door, but there's like these archways. So as we walked in, like her face was just like oh my god, like, and then it opens
was
up and it's
awesome.
like a full city. It's not just the castle, it's like a walled city, and she's like, oh my god, like, she
know.
was dying. That
Which
was
we're
great.
getting ahead of ourselves because we're going to go in order. But
we're
no,
not there
it's
yet.
true. It's very relevant because I'm like, oh, I want to show the pictures, but we're going to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in order to make it make more sense. But it was so awesome, like just getting to surprise her with all of this, this cool stuff, all this research that I did. It paid off in the end, for sure.
Definitely.
So,
So,
okay,
yeah, where do we start? Where do we start?
will start in. Oh my God. Okay, we'll start in the airport. We'll tell the story of the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Which that sounds boring. Like we're just
Story
in
of
this
the
whole trick,
airport.
but like no, it was actually really awesome. So we get to London, and unfortunately we had an 8-hour layover. After being on a plane for like 9 hours, we had an 8-hour fucking layover, and we were like, okay, well we'll just like bounce around and make ourselves useful or whatever. And we're like, okay, we can watch the last 2 Harry Potter movies. We did a Harry Potter marathon when I was all laid up in the bed healing and shit. So I was like, okay, we can just watch a movie or something like that. But we're walking around and we see this really cool bar, and I will show you a photo of it. Oh, maybe we'll do the large one. Okay, so this cool looking bar is just right in the middle of the airport in Heathrow in London. And we had been seeing in a bunch of the shops tea. There's like a shitload of tea. It's Fortnum and Mason tea. And we walk up there and I'm like, ooh, this looks really neat. I'm like, oh, it's the same tea company. Like, that's neat. That must be like popular shit around here. And we're like looking at the menu, and all I wanted was afternoon tea. Which, if you're not familiar with afternoon tea, it's like a 3-tiered thing, and there's sweets and there's sandwiches, and it comes with scones, and you get tea. It's like a whole thing, and I just think it's so awesome. So they have afternoon tea on the menu, and we were looking for somewhere to eat, and I'm like, oh, let's get afternoon tea. Let's fucking do it. So we're like looking at the menu, and this dude comes up, and he's like, hey, I see you looking at the menu. Like, what's up? And he starts talking with us, and he's like the nicest dude of all time. He's the manager of this bar restaurant type of thing. And I was like, yeah, I see you have afternoon tea. I've always wanted it. And he's like, sit down. I got you guys covered. And we end up talking to this guy for hours. We stayed at this bar for like 4 hours.
Yeah, we were there for a
And
long
they
time.
kept bringing us tea. We had like 5 teapots worth of tea. And this guy is so nice. at the end of our time there, he was like, "You guys are so awesome. Like, when you get back to London, I would love to have you over to my house. I would love to cook you dinner." He's Italian, and he's like, "I'll make pasta for you guys if you want to come over." So this random guy who's the manager of this place loved us, and we loved him, and he literally offered to have us over to his house, which sadly we didn't end up making it over there. It was like a whole journey, and we had other stuff going on. But next time I definitely want to. But how fucking cool that that guy was willing to like offer that to us. It was great.
Yeah.
So here is the afternoon tea, which was so good. There's my super stoked face. And by the way, keep in mind, I hadn't eaten for like, I don't know, a fucking week at least, very much at all.
It's been a while for sure.
And I was like, I'm just going to eat this afternoon tea. We're winging it. Like, I'm just going to give it a go. Oh, that's my friend Kevin. He dropped us off at the airport. So, yeah, so we get this afternoon tea. There's this little, like, chocolate cake, and eclair, this little apple thing. That's, like, the best fucking thing of all time. And then we've got the scones in the middle.
That little apple thing.
Yes, that apple
You know,
thing was so good.
Shannon keeps asking us what our favorite food was of this whole trip. It might be that apple thing. I think that apple thing was my favorite thing that I've
Really?
eaten in most of my life. That thing was so good, and it was just like the tiniest little thing.
That's so funny.
It
It
was
was
so good.
really good. It was like a squishy little cake. I actually have a photo from the inside of it. There's our tea.
We drank so much tea.
We drank so much. I have drank so much tea on this trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn into tea.
Also, I just realized your mom sent me a message, and we forgot to update the little description of
Oh shit!
the thing. So it was still saying that we're doing Hanukkah tonight. We're not talking about Hanukkah. So I'm going to change that real quick. So
Oh
if
my
anybody's
God.
confused, all you got to do is refresh.
That is so
here
funny.
in 1
My
second.
mom's in here right now.
Yeah.
Hi,
she's in there,
Mom.
She's watching.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad
Definitely.
you're watching. That's great. Thank you for the
And
for the
thanks for
memo.
letting us know.
Yeah, I got, like I said, the bridge was closed, and I just like got home like 2 minutes beforehand, and then the computer was dead because we've been gone for so long, and we had to like reboot the computer and like just really fast pull this shit together. So we missed that. That's my bad. That was totally my bad. So oh yeah, so here's the inside of the apple thing, squishy cake with like apple compote kind of thing with this little glaze on the outside. It was Dusty's favorite.
Yeah,
thing
it was
ever.
like an apple cinnamon filling
It was-
thing.
it
And
was
like when they
freaking
brought
good.
it out, we had no idea what it was. I was just like staring at it. I'm like, that's going to be real good. And I saved it for last because I'm smart.
It was so.
And I cut into it and
good,
I took a little
dude.
bite of it and I almost died
was
immediately.
so
It was like,
good.
I need 87 more of these.
Even though this picture doesn't look very appealing, oh, it is. It's a freshly baked scone. Like they're like, let us know we will bake fresh scones. Like it's like fresh out of the oven with
Yeah.
clotted cream and jam on top, which was
Jam.
fucking great. So yeah, we had this whole little setup. It was all super nice and fancy. There's the apple again. It was great. So yeah, they were in the Harry Potter shop after. But that tea was so good that there was
was
a
real
little
good.
shop right next to it that sold all of the tea. So it's cool because we got to try a whole bunch of different teas while hanging out. He's like, just let me know. We'll just make new pots for you, like,
Yeah.
you know, on the house or whatever. So
tried
we
pretty
tried
much all
so
of
many
them.
teas. So then afterwards, we went over to the tea shop and I bought some tea. Because, you know, when you're traveling around, you never know if there's going to be coffee or tea at the Airbnbs. Most of them have stuff like that, but like sometimes you're like, fuck. And we love having like either at night or especially in the morning, having some kind of like caffeinated beverage to get us going because mornings are not easy anyway.
Yeah.
And it's especially easier when we have some kind of like warm beverage to wake us up. So I was like, oh, I'll get a box of this tea, which thank God I did because a lot of the places didn't have shit.
Yeah,
So I was like, thank God I got this tea. But now we're like addicted to the tea.
that's true. We bought more. We brought more back.
Yeah, on the way back, I was like, we're going while we're in the
While we're-
airport. We're going
while
back
we're
and
in the
we're
airport,
getting more
you gonna do this
tea.
again?
It was awesome. So yeah, so that was the beginning of the whole trip. Was just like us hanging out at the airport, making a friend,
Yeah.
eating afternoon tea, drinking all the tea. We were like so pumped already. I was like, okay, already, I'm feeling
Yeah.
good about this trip. This is super
We're sitting in the
cool.
airport. We already made a new friend.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He
was
invited us to
so
his house
nice.
for dinner with his family too. Whenever we were back in London, but our schedules didn't line up, and he lived pretty far out of London, so we didn't get to go. But he was so nice. He's like, I'll make you dinner. We'll have like a wine tasting and like do this whole thing. You can meet my family. It was like, wow. Like
It was so
okay.
sweet. I'm really sad that we didn't end up being able to do it. He lived kind
Yeah.
of far. You know, taking the tube and everything, it's time consuming. And we were hanging out with our friends in London, and I was really enjoying spending time with them. And we had shit to do, so it was like kind of like
Yeah, there was a lot to do and people we had to see, so we
Yeah.
didn't end up being able to do that. But it was just very nice. But we
it
did.
was so nice, and I'll make sure that we keep in touch and everything. It'll be
Hi, Blue.
good. Hey, what's
Welcome
up
in.
there, bud?
Nice to see you.
Hello. It's Eli, right? Is it? Yeah,
It's
awesome. Yay. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'll say yeah.
Thanks for popping in. You're
Yeah.
just in time. We just got to
you're
Prague.
just in time. Yep. First
Wow.
first
Got to
phase,
Prague.
airport,
Airport.
in
We just left
London.
the airport.
And then we got on a plane to Prague, which, by the way, let me just talk about how they announce the gates in Europe.
Oh,
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of
It's so
in
stupid.
my life. So, under normal circumstances, most of the time here in the States, as soon as you get, it's like 2 hours before your flight, it says gate E26 or whatever.
Or
Says
it's
it
on
the
your
thing.
boarding pass.
It's
like
on
you
the
have
boarding
it
pass.
immediately.
You know where you're going. I swear I don't know what the friggin' deal is, but you'll get there early and you look at the gate and it says that it won't tell you the gate until 45 minutes before the moment you're supposed to fly away.
Yeah.
And they end boarding 15 minutes beforehand or whatever. So these airports are big. You gotta take trains, the whole thing. So you're waiting, staring at the board, and you're like, what the fuck, where am I going? And then as soon as it says E26, you're like, we gotta go right now.
Like, you have to
and then you
run.
have to fucking run. And then everybody that's on the flight is all going at the same time now. It's like normally there would be a trickle. Some people are hanging out at the gate. Some people are eating food, whatever. There's like a lot of options. But with this, you have to be like ready to go. And then you have to book it.
Yeah. Now there's you and a crowd, like a plane's worth of a crowd that are running to the same
Yeah.
place.
And trying to get on the little train
Yeah.
in the airport. Everybody's trying to get on. And it's just kind of stupid. Like it doesn't make
It is. It's really weird.
any
I don't
sense at all.
understand why they would do that. None of it makes any sense. And it's like, how do you not know what gate the plane is going to be at? Like, is it a surprise to them too? Like, they don't know. Like, that's scheduled out, right? Like,
do not
the
know.
plane knows which gate to pull up to. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like,
For
why are we not telling
some
people?
reason, I guess maybe they just do it differently over there. I don't know why, but it's extremely inconvenient. It's like stressful because you gotta be ready to go. And then sometimes it'll be like gate shown at 2:30 or something, and then we were standing there at the board. It's like 2:30 on the dot, and we're like, "Come on!" And it's like 2:31. 2:32, 2:30, and we're like, "Oh, come on, get the fuck out of here! Like, just tell me where I'm going."
Where am I going?
Jesus Christ, like it's super crazy. So we did that. We like scrambled. Get to the gate. We get on. Okay, finally, here we fucking go. It was delayed a little bit, which was annoying too, because all we wanted to do is just get there already. Oh my goodness, we got Joey and Chid at the same friggin'
what?
time.
Joey
Hi
and Chid coming in
guys.
together. Nice.
I'm so glad you
Tag
guys are
teaming
both
it.
here. I love you.
Nice to see both of you.
Yay.
You're just in time.
I know, guys are just in time.
Yeah. We're just leaving the London airport right now
Yes.
in our story. So,
Yes, we're going in a linear fashion.
yeah, we're going
Oh, I'm so glad
chronologically.
you guys are both here for this. That's fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
So, thanks for subscribing again for
Mm-hmm.
20 months.
20 months.
That's fucking awesome, Chid.
That's a long
Yay.
time.
Oh,
Oh,
Waybug.
Waybug.
Hi.
Anyway, Bug,
Hello.
nice to see you.
Maybe it keeps you in the shops. Okay, that's not a
Hmm.
bad idea. But I was scared to even go into shops because I would get like distracted and then miss the gate and then like whatever.
You're sitting there staring at the sign. Like,
It's
But that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe there's something to it, but it is like you got 25 minutes before they close boarding, and like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
but it
Some
takes me
people have like
24 minutes to get
bum
over
legs and shit, you know. Like, what do people have to move slower? Like, come on,
there. Some
come on,
people
man.
don't even have legs.
Some people don't have legs. It's very true.
That's gonna be rough.
You need one of those motorized, like turbo boosted
Yeah.
wheelchairs or something like that.
Break out your Stephen Hawking
Yeah.
wheelchair. Let's go.
But so we get on the plane, and we're coming to Prague. I'm so fucking stoked about it. And we get there. I think it was, what time was it when we got there? It was like, we landed at 10 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 10:30, I think, when we landed.
And thankfully, going through passport control was super easy when we got there, because sometimes you have to wait for like 2 hours. It's like a whole thing. But thankfully, it was like super fast. We zoomed through there and grabbed a cab and met up with Shannon. And it was like the most gratifying moment ever. She came down and was so happy that we were there. You know, like she was like, I might have to do Europe by myself, but we'll wing it. I got it. But the fact that we made it there, she was like so freaking happy. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Lamoon.
Hey, Lamoon. I'm so happy you're
It
here.
is Lamoon.
Welcome. We got Joey and the mama.
All the moons. 2 moons.
Yeah. We're getting mooned.
Yeah,
Double
we're
moon.
getting moon. Double moon.
I just finished freaking out. Your son watching Dusk Till Dawn.
That's a good one.
Come on. Whip him into shape.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
freaking him out?
18.
Oh, what? And
That's like
freaking
not
out?
even. Not even. Scary.
Come on.
Oh my god. You gotta acclimate him a little bit more to that shit. Show him Saw or something. See how that goes. Oh. King Tides, eh? Well, that's gonna be exciting. Shit's gonna get flooded, but we're on a hill. We're good.
Yep, we're on a hill.
But yeah, so we get there and it's evening time. So a lot of the shops and shit are closed, but we are like, all right, let's go adventure. We wanted to see the sights. So there's a million stairs to get into our Airbnb, which was really nice actually. About 8 million stairs, and because I just had an organ removed, they were like, you can't lift shit. So it was kind of awesome because Dusty and Shannon helped me carry all my shit the entire trip, which I really, really appreciate. But there's no way I could have carried a suitcase all the way up there, so I just had my backpack and shit, and they helped zoom everything up. So so we get up there and we just drop our shit and then we go hit the town, and now we get to go walk around, and it was so beautiful at night. Oh my god, it was so beautiful.
It was real pretty.
It was so beautiful. Yeah. So let's see. I will show you some of these super cool photos here.
And also, we were expecting winter wonderland everywhere that we went on this trip. We bought all the clothes for all the cold weather and all of our layers and everything, and then we're checking the forecast before we leave, and most places are going to be warmer than it is in Seattle, and we're like
and Seattle's pretty damn warm in the wintertime.
So yeah,
so it's funny because we had that Arctic blast thing that happened in the country, and it froze the entire country, and it was crazy cold, way colder than normal. Well, Europe had the opposite. So we had all the air coming down from the Arctic that froze everybody out, but they had a bunch of warm air coming from the equator and from the Mediterranean pushing up. So it was abnormally warm.
It was warm
during this time of year. I mean, it was December and January, and normally that's the coldest time of the year. I mean, it wouldn't be Arctic cold, but it wouldn't have been weird for during the day it'd be a high of 28 and a low of, I don't know, 18 or something like that. It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been, but
and yeah, it was 50 a lot of it, which was kind of awesome, so it was much more comfortable. But we just bought all this shit. I bought super warm gloves, I bought fleece underlayers, I bought these fucking badass Doc Marten boots that are fur lined inside, keep my fucking feet warm, which was good. I mean, I'm so glad that I have them, but I wasn't traversing through snow.
Yeah.
I thought that
we thought we were gonna be walking on snow and it'll be our winter wonderland, and I was all concerned about the drive. I'm like, am I gonna be driving on ice the whole time? What are the roads gonna be like? I really don't want to drive through Germany in a blizzard. And it was just sunny and 60 degrees, and we're
yeah. Because at first we didn't know if we were going to be able to drive through Switzerland. I wanted to drive through Switzerland, but we're we're going to have to wait until we're there to see, because if it's super snowy Switzerland situation, we're not going to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And it was fucking so warm. They were what the fuck? Everyone was we don't know what's happening. So it kind of worked out in our favor as far as that goes. Yeah. Oh, Jody, hi.
Hi, Jody. Hello.
I'm so happy
Thank
to
you for
see
coming
you.
in.
I'm so glad you're
Yeah.
here. What a great turnout. I know we've been off for like a month. This is an awesome turnout right now. I'm so glad that all you guys
Yeah.
didn't forget about us and you're here. That's so
Thanks for
awesome and
loving
special.
us.
I love it. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have our friends here and that you
Little
guys
pumpkin.
want to hear
Yeah,
our stories
pumpkin
too. Yeah, little pumpkins.
Pumpkin love.
Yay. It's a welcome home party. It totally
Yeah,
is.
welcome home party.
It is. We need it for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so awesome getting there that night. This is our like, we're fucking stoked
Yep,
faces
this is
right now.
right when we
We're,
showed
like,
up.
super de duper
Right outside
stoked.
our room.
Yep. Oh, Lisa, you don't know Jody? Jody is awesome. She is a very wonderful supporter on Twitch, in the Twitch community. And she's also a streamer as well.
Totally.
Hey, you want to give a shout out?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Shout her out. Yeah, Jody's fantastic. We actually got to meet Jody and hang out with her when we were in Rhode Island in September, which was super, super cool.
Yeah.
That was really nice. We had so
super
much
cool.
fun.
Definitely.
It was the fucking best. So yeah, so here is like right around the corner from our room is this majestic scene with this amazing sculpture and these fucking beautiful buildings. Oh my God, the architecture there was incredible.
It really was. Super cool style. The Gothic style out there was amazing.
Oh my God, it was
Because we've
so
been
beautiful.
to multiple places around Europe, and like all the, the medieval stuff, all the medieval styles that you see around, like this one was way different and super Gothic, much darker, like pointier, and like I don't know. I really liked it because it was not as flourishy, I guess, but more. It just has like a dark like. It makes me think of like Dracula, like vampire style. Super
Yeah,
cool.
it's got that Eastern European edge, even though it's not fully Eastern Europe. It's like on the line of Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
So it has that little bit of like darker kind of vibe. Like you said, it's not as flourishy like France is like all like beautiful, and it's still
Yeah.
beautiful, but it's definitely more Gothic architecture. I mean, just look at this scene of the street here. Oh my God.
The
This
metalheads
was
would love it way more.
this was 2-minute walk from our Airbnb. Now this here
If that.
is the oldest astronomical clock in all of Europe. It's from the 1300s. And the astronomical clocks are absolutely fucking amazing. They're not just timekeepers, but they also track the planets and a lot of like celestial things as well. So it's a pretty evolved thing that they made in the 1300s, and it has been maintained. They have had to refurbish it and such, but it is still in its original form. It's so awesome. Yes, we did stay in the Old Town section. We did, of course. Everywhere that we stayed, I wanted to stay in the oldest part of the city or town, because that's my favorite thing is the history. Like, we love the historic spots. Like, I can do without the modern shit. I'd rather stay away from that and stay in the old historic districts.
Yeah. And actually, one thing about that astronomical clock, I just verified to make sure it was the right one. I was pretty sure it was. But Einstein, when he was working at the patent office, before he was the Einstein we all know, he worked right across from the astronomical clock. And that's the one that he would stare at all the time when he was contemplating time, and when he came up with or started coming up with his theory of general relativity.
Really?
It was him staring at that clock and pondering time.
That is so
that's the one.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find the picture of the clock. Ugh, these buildings were so
Super cool.
fucking majestic.
Also with the style too, like me being a designer, and like I always look at the fonts on everything. I love font work, I love typography. So anytime we go into a cemetery, I'm looking at the fonts on the graves, and like all the medieval stuff that we've seen, they all have like that very stereotypical Old English style of font on it. But in Prague, their fonts that they had were just some of the coolest fonts ever. They were super spiky and just darker. Like, I really loved all their font work on stuff.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Everybody's like going around looking at all the architecture, and I'm like rubbing like the fonts that are like carved into the wall, and I'm like, oh, look at it
It
go.
was fucking beautiful. Waybug, that is a very good point. That you've never seen the clock with nobody there. During the days,
Yeah.
it is packed. It is the biggest tourist draw of Prague, is that clock. So normally there is a shitload of people there.
Yeah.
And we were there. It was probably about, I would say, midnight, 1 a.m. or so.
Yeah, it's probably about 1.
And there was nobody there. And since Shannon had been there for days, she was like, this is so awesome. It's crazy. There's nobody here. It's hard to get photos or whatever because there's like 8 million people. So we definitely lucked out getting like a personal experience with the clock.
Yeah.
Let me see
And
if
it's
there's
also, it was not really off season because it was the Christmas market was still kind of going, but it was after Christmas, so the crowd had died down slightly from what it would have been, and then it wasn't like peak tourist season, so being the middle of the night and slight off season helped us out for sure. But during the daytime, it was just crowded.
Yeah,
like,
there
was
was a
no way to
lot
get a picture without people in it.
of people. So we had some nice lady took some photos of us in front of the clock.
Yeah.
And then, of course, doors. If any of you guys followed our trips from years ago, Estonia had the best doors. I made a whole Facebook post only of doors.
Just
It was like
doors.
50 doors. And they had some great doors in Prague, for sure.
Yeah, we love doors. Shut the doors.
So that was not the best photo of all time.
Ah, Buttery, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Buttery!
Nice to see
What's
you.
up? But yeah, it was pretty neat. Nobody there, just us and a clock from the 1300s.
Yeah.
And here, let's get a little zoomed in. Look at this clock here.
It is crazy. And it
It's
was-
fucking beautiful.
all the hand carving and stuff all around it is
Oh, yeah.
mind blowing. Like the clock itself is magical, but just like look at all that like carved work underneath
It's
it. Like,
amazing. And this is one of 2 astronomical clocks that we saw on our trip.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll get to another one later, but
Spoiler alert.
it was awesome getting to see 2 astronomical clocks.
Yeah.
But this, it's 5 past Mercury.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. So
Yeah, that's funny. Waybug, you're asking what time, how late it was when we were there. You can't read the clock. It says right
I have
there.
no idea what it
it's
is.
5 past
So
Mercury.
funny.
It's funny. We were staring at it and we're just like, I don't even know how to tell the time. Like, I can't even tell you what time it is on this clock, but it tells you everything if you know what you're looking at.
Yep.
And no one does.
Nope. But unfortunately, since we had very limited time there, we didn't get to see the clock show that they have.
Yeah.
I think it's half hour during certain hours. I think it's like 10 in the morning or something like that to, I think it's 10 at night. Something like that.
Yeah.
They have this little show where these little like people come out and do a whole thing, and sadly we did not get to see that.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're-
the other was in a church. You are correct.
How did you know?
Do you have a guess of which church it was? Or what city it would be in? You can guess if you want.
Because even I don't know that.
You were there. You
Yeah.
forgot?
I don't remember which church it was in. We only went into like 87 churches. I don't know.
Cathedrals. It
not
sounds
churches.
way less
true.
hateful and aggressive when you say
Cathedral sounds
beautiful cathedrals, European cathedrals. Europe has a lot of churches. Why? I gotta tell you, just like side note here is like we are obviously very much not religious people. We're very anti-establishment as far as that goes. Like not into organized religion, but cathedrals in Europe are the most beautiful thing ever to me. Like I love going in every one that I possibly can. Every time if one's open, I'm like, oh, we got to go in because they're all fucking majestic and they have varying levels of art and architecture, and each one is so uniquely different. And a lot of them are like 1,000 years old, like 1,000 years, you know, and there's like oil paintings and shit from like 1410, you know, and you're like, what the fuck? Like it's so amazingly majestic. So we definitely went into a lot of cathedrals. I love it. And honestly, like, it strikes me, like, and it's weird, like, emotionally, which I'm not like a very like emotional person. When I see things, I'm not like looking at a sunset and like tearing up, you know? Like, I acknowledge the beauty, but for some reason, being in these cathedrals and places with like immense amounts of art that are really old, like, I can feel how majestic that it is, and it like really emotionally affects me. Like, there's a couple times where I just got tears in my eyes looking up, where I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing to be inside of the art. You know, like, you can go to an art museum and you can view art, you know, or you can see art on the TV or the computer or whatever, but to be inside of it, like, you're inside of this 3D world that is architecture and art that is like no other. And that is very striking to me. So some of the most profound, like, emotional traveling moments that I've ever had have been inside of cathedrals because of the amount of love and care and concern and work that humans put into creating the space. And, you know, I understand they're creating it, you know, for more religious purposes and to honor God or whatever, but like, I'm not seeing it in that kind of way. I'm just feeling all the love that went into it. And then over a thousand years or whatever or more of people going in there and feeling that same sense of awe, it's like it almost soaks into the bricks of the building, where you can feel the love that everybody else had for this space as well. So it's a very profound thing for me to experience that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, just the craftsmanship in it alone is magical. And, you know, they're built specifically to make you feel that sense of awe when you walk in, and to feel like you are in the presence of God when you walk in. And they nail it. Like, a lot of them are just like, I can understand how someone could walk into a place like that and, not knowing what's going on, just almost instantly convert and just be like, wow, like something magical is happening, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing that they're able to build that that sense of awe into a building, you know?
Agreed.
Like, so that's super cool.
And then, you know, Chid, like, you do have a point in a way, but, you know, more so that I would feel like that would be more modern churches, like, what all the money that they're spending now, it could help these people, but these are from like fucking hundreds, thousands of years ago, you know. So I feel like
When
it's a
poverty
little
was
bit
just a way of
different,
life.
you know. And a lot of the churches, at least back in that time, were more open to helping the people of the community, feeding people and housing people and shit like that. Now, you know, some of them do, but it's there's a more judgment attached to it, you know. So it's different for sure. Oh, Princess, hi! I'm
Hi,
so happy
Princess.
you're here.
Hello.
We missed you a lot.
hello.
I'm happy that you have
Just
arrived.
collecting more and more friends as we
I
go. This is
know.
great.
What a party. We're having a party.
Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
You're joining us in Prague right now.
Yes, we are in Prague,
Well,
our very
Prague.
first official destination of our amazing European journey that we just had.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this astronomical clock here and how fucking amazing that it was to get to see something like that. It was really, really, really cool.
Totally.
So after we were wandering the streets, we got some kebabs and we
Street
just
food.
sat on the side of the street and ate some kebabs,
Yeah.
and it was awesome.
Yeah, we walked into one shop buying, I think we were just getting like beers to walk around with, and everything was closed. And Shannon was asking, you know, where can we go get food? Is there anywhere open that has food? And it was like, you know, just after 2 in the morning, I guess. And the girls that were working at the counter were like, no, there's no food. Everybody's closed right now. You can't get anything. And then we walked, and it was like maybe 2 blocks away. There was this like shop that was open, like there was a line out the door, and like there was like dudes selling kebabs and hot dogs and all kinds of stuff.
We're like,
And I'm
that's fine. That's totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. We just want some kind of food.
Yeah, I was thinking the girls that work at this shop, they need to walk around a little bit. Like, how many times have they gotten off work and just been starving and like, man, I sure wish there was food when they could have walked like 2 minutes that way. There's
You're
totally
so
food.
right. It's a very common thing in all over Europe and the UK included, is these kebab shops that are open late. There's a lot of them. So the Middle Eastern guys, they they nail it. They're like, "Are you hungry? It's 2 in the morning. We
I
got
got
you."
food.
So
Yep. And they gave us the largest Euro type thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, I'll get that. That'll be good. It was gigantic. I ate it all.
it was
but
huge.
It was huge. And then like the little like whatever sandwich thing that Shannon got that was as large as our head.
Yeah.
Like it was giant. We're like,
It
oh
was
my
fucking
god.
crazy.
The tortilla, that's what it was. It was mine was like wrapped in a tortilla.
But it was like,
And it was like a
Massive.
pizza-sized tortilla. When he laid it out, we're just like, "Oh Jesus!" Like I didn't know that that's what was happening, but
oh my God.
I ate it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So then we continued walking around. This was a really cool building because it had these like crazy spire things going on here. And I was like, what? That's so cool looking. I'd never seen that kind of architecture before.
Yeah, that was a new style.
I feel like Estonia had like some similar elements, but it was definitely very unique. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Okay. So we get there. We had the night that we arrived, and then we had the plan already to go pick up the rental car the next day. So the original plan got a little bit screwed because of us having to leave late because of the hospital shit and everything. But we're like, okay, if we leave on time, then we'll be able to pick up our rental car on the day that we reserved it rather than pushing it out. And our plan was to drive to the Sedlik Ossuary, which is a bone church that is world famous. So you guys have probably, I imagine, heard of it before. If not, you're missing out, and you're about to hear about it now.
It's been a bucket list item for both of us for years.
And Shannon too,
And Shannon as well. Yeah.
because it is I mean, it's not like a church as far as with pews where they do these whole things, but it is a like monumental church where this one artist guy decided to take all of these bones and put them up in artistic displays. Yeah, it's kind of like the catacombs, but like fancier. Yeah. And it's about an hour east of Prague. So we rent the car, get the car at noon. It was the earliest we could get the car. And then, boom, we hit the road. Which, by the way, our rental car, we paid for the cheapest one because it was astronomically expensive. I just need to let you guys know, if anybody travels to Europe and you want to rent a car, it's something you must know. The actual cost of the car wasn't too bad. After COVID, it's all more expensive anyway. But there is a one-way drop-off fee, which we have here in the States, but normally it's a much more reasonable drop-off fee if you pick up at one location and you drop off at a different location. The most we've paid in the States, I think, was like $450 to drop it off in a different spot. Here, which of course I already planned the entire trip, got the Airbnbs, everything is set. I'm like, okay, cool. Last thing we got to do is get the car. Holy shit. It was, I think this one was like $1,000 or $1,100 drop off fee.
Yeah, it was like $1,100 just for the drop off fee alone, like on top of what we paid for the rental car for 2 weeks.
Thank God we were splitting it with 3 of us and not just the 2 of us. But at this point, everything's already booked. Everything's planned. All the like 80, 90 hours that I spent planning this trip, we can't back out at this point. Like, we're locked in. So we're like, well, we have to pay this much money for the car. So the car was like $2,000 fucking dollars. And, you know, the European cars, a lot of times are really small. And I wanted to make sure that we had enough room for all of our baggage and everything. But I was like, we can't upgrade. Because they're like, would you like to upgrade? I'm like, fuck you. We can't upgrade anything. Did sound cut out for you too? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it was just you.
Yep, probably just you.
Either way. So we're like, okay, we're just getting this, the cheapest car. I hope it's not like a fucking Geo Metro or something really horrible. But they gave us this nice car.
It was real nice.
It was a Volkswagen Golf GTI, and it was like looked like racy, like it was like a nice car, and we were like, what? This is our okay. Thank you. We expected something quite shitty, but like holy shit. Yeah. You had a 4-door 96 Geo Metro.
Yeah.
It's that big. And I drive a Mini Cooper. I'm used to small cars, but like we couldn't have all of our baggage and everything. So I was a little concerned, but I'm like, oh, we can't pay to upgrade. So it is what it is. We'll have to figure it out. And they gave us this awesome car.
Badass car.
It was badass. It was like super futury inside and everything. Yeah, the conversion was about 1-for-1. The euro is like 106 to the dollar, you know. So it was not too bad. But yeah, we get this fancy ass car and we drive out to Sedlick. And we're so fucking pumped. Actually, the shirt that I'm wearing, I got there. I got the little skulls. And we get there and they're like, no photos. And I died inside. Because all I wanted to do was get like some awesome artsy photos with all these skulls and bones and shit. And I was like, fuck. And Shannon's like, fuck. And we're both like freaking out. Dusty's like, I don't care. He's not a picture guy. So I'm like, okay, here's the plan. We're going to look at everything. And then after we feel sufficient, then I'm going to be sneaky and try to take a couple pictures. So that way, if they kick us out, we already saw everything. I was like, Shannon, don't pull your fucking phone out until we have coordinated our time and we know that it's like, it's safe. And she was like totally scared to do it. Dusty's like, I'm not fucking doing it. And I was like, if I leave this place and don't at least have one fucking picture, I'm going to be so bummed because I wanted to share it. So 2 photos that I got. Here is one, which is so awesome. There was this tunnel. So it was like this pyramid of human bones. And there was this tunnel and they had a light at the backside of the tunnel. And then they had all these fucking skulls. And I thought this was extra awesome because there's one where you could see the underside of the skull, which was just fucking sweet. But the glow, we were trying to find the places where the cameras, the security cameras were like not directly on us. Oh, I was good about it. I was like, oh, I'm getting these fucking photos. I'm going to be so fast. And I snapped this and I was like, that's the best photo ever. Oh my God. It's just like a mazillion bones. It was so cool. And Shannon was like so fucking stoked because she was too scared to do it, but I got it. And then I got one other photo. Well, that's from the outside, so you can see the bones on the inside. We're like, well, we're not inside, so fuck you. You can't make us not get photos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you can see in the background here, there's the skulls and then all these bones. Like, everything was very artistically done. And there's just, like, bones hanging here. Like, oh, my God.
Big
so
ass like chandelier made of bones.
I know, I wish I
in
had the
middle,
damn
like,
chandelier. Some places will confiscate your camera. Well, they can't because it's my fucking cell phone, and I will fight somebody to the fucking death over it. Did they have postcards? They did. They did. And actually, I got a lenticular postcard that, like, you turn it, and it's like, skulls and bones. And so it was awesome. It was super cool. It had the chandelier on it.
Bones.
So this one, I love it. This was so funny. I had to get one photo with us and some bones in it. And I just real quick was like, boom. And you can see you got all these skulls and bones by us. And then over here, there's a few more hanging. And it's me and Shannon. And I thought it was absolutely fucking hilarious. So those are the 2 that we got inside. I really wanted to get more, but I was at least happy. I'm like, okay, at least I got one of us here. And then a cool, like, artsy shot with the bones. Like, I was like, okay, I'm good. Oh, yeah. Flash off, for sure. Definitely. I don't even use flash anymore. Honestly, my phone has such an amazing camera. The light settings are so fantastic. Unless it's, like, pitch dark, I don't even need a flash. It's super helpful. What is the story of the Bone Church? So this actual area was created specifically for these bones. So they, over many, many years, there was so many burials that were done that it was like taking up a lot of space. So similar to the catacombs in France, there was all of these bones from people that died of various different diseases and such. Some of them were like monks. There was kids. There was a bunch of people. And this guy in the, 17 something or other? I don't remember when exactly when he did it. 18
when they made
something.
all the
When he did the the decorative church.
So it started around after 1511, and then in 1870 is when it got turned into super decorative, where it is now. So, but the church has been there since like the 1200s. So I was just looking up to see the.
Well, I think it's that little church that we went into was there for all that time, but I think that specific area was created after the fact, I believe. So here's some actual photos, since I couldn't take my own photos. I'll show you guys. So you walk in, and as soon as you walk in, this is what you see. It is a epic chandelier
with garlands of skulls.
With
skull garland.
Garlands as far as the eye can see. Skulls and bones. And then you've got these like little towers here, which is like just a bunch of skulls and bones. And you're like pretty up close and personal with them. They're like right there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't touch, don't be an asshole, but like you could just be like boop if you wanted to. It's crazy. This is amazing. This is a like crest that was made out of the bones. It kind of looks like a guitar, but it's supposed to be a crest. And you've got like little pelvic bones. I mean, just look at all the detail. And they put some little rib bones as like hair coming off of this guy, which is just so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fucking great. Yeah. Boop the skull on the nose. Boop.
So yeah, the history of it, during the Black Death and the Hussite Wars in the early 15th century, there were thousands that were buried in the Abbey Cemetery. So it had to be greatly enlarged. Ended up being like a mass grave, essentially. Around 1400, a Gothic church was built in the center of the cemetery, and had a chapel to be used as an ossuary for the mass graves that were unearthed during the construction, or the ones that simply had to be moved to make room for new burials. After 1511, the task of exhuming skeletons and stacking their bones in the chapel was given to a half-blind monk that was working there, and his job was just to move all the bones in there and to stack them. Then in 1870, a wood carver was employed to put the bones in order, basically to stack them and make them nice and neat, kind of like in the catacombs in France where they're stacked up neatly.
Yeah, so
but he got artistic with it, so instead of just stacking them up and making nice, neat little stacks, he made art with it, to the point that his signature is done on the wall in bones.
Oh, I wanted to get a picture of that so fucking bad, and I wasn't allowed. I hope I can find it. That would be really cool.
So the bones have been there and were moving in there since like around 1500, basically, and then in 1870 is when they got arranged into being what they are today. And they're still doing renovations and fixing and moving things. So even some of the chapel was actually blocked off, and they had some videos showing how they were doing restorations in some of the areas, and they were making a new pyramid of bones, because there's still mounds of bones that are not organized in the corners, like they're just hanging out. So they're still kind of doing some of that slowly but surely. And it says that there are between 40,000 and 70,000 people worth of bones in there.
That's a lot of bones.
So there you go. There's the history of the Senate.
Good job. Good job on the history. I was going to see if I could find the signature, because that was really cool. Oh, here's a neat view, too. You walk in, and there's just like an epic tower of bones, dude. That's when we were like, are you kidding me? We can't take photos of this. Like, we were like freaking out because it was so cool.
Yeah. And that's what they're building a new one of at the moment. So they've got the skeleton constructed, and they'll start stacking all the bones soon, I guess.
It's absolutely fucking
But it's gorgeous. I mean,
beautiful.
The like that chandelier in the middle is amazing.
Oh yeah, here's an under view of it too.
Yeah, and those like those towers around the chandelier. Super cool. There's little cherubs on top that are sitting on skulls, and then candles that they light and stuff. So, and then upstairs there's actually a small little chapel that I don't think they use as a chapel, but it's a little homage to Jesus, essentially, is upstairs.
The ye old homage to Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was super cool. It's very small, actually. It's smaller than I expected it to be.
Me too. I thought it would be bigger, which I guess it is. There's a basement as well that we couldn't go into, which I don't know if that was due to renovations or if it's just off limits to public.
Oh, they said they were working on it. They were building it as an extra space. So it's not open yet.
Oh, it's not done yet. Oh, okay.
Nope. So this is the main one that everybody throughout all these years have been able to go see, but they're working on a secondary area, which is very, very cool. So yeah, pretty much like this is kind of where you walk down the stairs when you enter here, and then you have like the big pile over here, and then there's the chandelier, and then you have a little room off to the right and a little one off to the left, and then you can kind of like pop your head and look on this side of these walls, but that's it. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be. I thought we were going to end up spending like 2 hours in this place because I thought it was going to be this massive thing, but really it was a lot smaller than I expected it to be. Yeah. But there's a lot of people crammed into this pretty small space. So fucking cool. So it is close to a town called Kutna Hora. So you might hear it called Sedlik. You might hear it called the Bone Church, or you might see it like Kutna Hora on some of the souvenirs and stuff. It doesn't say Sedlik, it says Kutna Hora. So they are synonymous because that's the closest town that it is to. So it's really damn cool, and I'm so glad that we got to go see it. It was great, and I'm glad that we could share that with you guys too. So that's pretty fun. So yes, rock and roll on that one. So we did that.
Rock and roll.
And then the next day, we went to... Oh, actually, hold on. Before I get to the next day, I will show you guys our meal. We had a lot of food. We took a lot... Normally, I'm not like a food photo person. Like, who gives a shit about the food I'm eating? But on this trip, I was like, you need to see this food. So I was actually doing like lots of food posts because it was so good, and I thought it'd be fun to share with people like stuff that I'd never even heard of. So most likely a lot of people hadn't heard of it either. So we did some food posts, which I will share with you. So we go to this cool little like medieval kind of restaurant, which I had asked the lady at Sedlik who was working at the desk. I was like, where do we go to eat? Like, tell me where the coolest place is to go. And she was like, there's 2 places I recommend. They're both really, really great. Like, locals go there. It's cool. So I was like, fantastic. Let's do it. So we're at this place. Can't pronounce it, but there you go. There's the name of it.
No idea what that's called.
No idea.
But there's the Kutna Hora that you might see. That's the name of the little town.
Yes. Okay, so...
Yeah. What restaurant are we at? Who knows?
I don't even know.
I don't even know what that is. Are those letters? We don't know.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're learning from this, Sarah, and you're having fun. It's good. I love sharing this kind of stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
So we go to this awesome little tavern, and one of the things about Czech that is a pretty notable thing for drinkers out there is that beer is cheaper than water a lot of times. Because you have to, generally in Europe, you buy water. Some places have tap water, and it's fine. You can ask for tap, but for the most part, you order water and you get bottles of water. They say sparkling or still, so you can get sparkling water or just like regular water, but normally they charge you. It's usually about €2 for a bottle of water, and they're like big bottles. But the beer is about €1 or less. Sometimes it's like 80 euro cents.
Yeah.
So this giant beer, they did like a 2-layer kind of thing. You get the light beer and you get the dark beer. It's Czech beer. With all this like super nice head. It's not like super fluffy. It was like microfoam head. Like it's pretty nice. And it was like $1 essentially. So cool.
Yeah, it was super cheap. Yeah, which is funny because like most of the places, so here we're used to like the craft beer culture, and you look for a beer list and there's just like beers for days. You got all these options. most of the places we went to out there, especially when it wasn't like in a big city. I mean, like Lyon had a little bit better beer list or whatever, but most of the places had like 2 to 4 beers maybe, and sometimes there weren't even names. Like they'd just be like, what kind of beer you have, and they're like, we have a dark one, we have a light one. Like, what do you, like, and most of them, like when they say dark, it's not. It's like an amber at best, But so whatever you get, it's gonna be a light beer basically. But this one, they had like the 2 beers on their list, and then the third one was a mix. And Shannon and I were just like,
Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
You can mix them. You're mixing your beer. Yeah, let's mix it. Why not? Let's do that.
None of us expected a layered
Didn't
thing, which
expect
looked super
a
fucking fancy,
layered
know.
beer, but it came out layered like that, and we're like, well,
Yeah, it's
that's
fucking pretty
freaking
cool.
pretty. Look at that. Yeah,
Look at
them
them
go.
cheersing.
Look at them go. How layered they
Very
are.
nice.
I didn't know beers would layer like that, really, but super cool. Unless you had like a super thick stout, and then like
Yeah.
Coors Light on top of it or something. But
So this in Kutna this is just like this epic cathedral. What was it named? I can't remember. St. Barbara's Cathedral.
yeah.
And it was a thing that you could do like a combo thing where you can go to Sedlick and then you can go tour there. But we had so much going on and we're like, it's cool. We just want to get some food. So we got to see it from the outside. Yeah. It looks pretty
It was
neat.
right next to our parking spot. We pulled over to park, and I was like,
Yeah.
look at that.
We're like, wow, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Look at that cool thing.
Oh, here's some photos from inside the restaurant. I guess they're not in order. So the restaurant was pretty cute. Looked like a little lodge. Here's the amazing menu with some weird stuff on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, oh, man, I got duck breast with some wine sauce and, was it cranberries or something? Oh, my God, that was so good.
We each had mashed potatoes on the side of our plate, and each one of them were different mashed potatoes.
Yeah, there was 3 different
There
kinds of
were
mashed
3
potatoes.
different
Look at
kinds.
this. Awesome.
Yeah, that's my pork loin. That what was the?
It was
rolled in?
Parmesan and thyme crusted
Yeah,
or something.
parm and thyme pork loin. It's
So
real good. That was one of Shannon's favorite things, actually. So we shared everything that we got. We all shared bites and
Oh, yeah.
everything. We're like, okay.
Everybody
we,
wanted to try
yeah,
everything.
we
so
all need to taste
it
everything
was
that we're
fucking great.
getting.
This was an interesting thing. It was cheese. It was like little bits of cheese that was mixed with some, I don't know, olive oil or spices or something. I don't even know what the fuck it
Yeah.
was. I liked it. Dusty wasn't as big of a fan, but me
was-
and Shannon liked it.
It was weird. It wasn't bad. It was just odd. And if they didn't say that it was cheese, I wouldn't have known that it was cheese. Like
It
it
was
was
kinda
kind of
weird.
like a chunky mashed potato texture, but it was
It
yeah,
was
it was
good.
fine.
And then this fucking soup.
That soup was one of our favorites. Of
It
the
was
whole
like
trip.
traditional Czech sour soup. And I was like, yes, I don't know what that means. So let's
Yeah.
give it a go. And it was one of the best soups I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, all
was
of
so
us
good.
were pretty excited about that one.
And there's an egg. This is a fucking egg, soft boiled egg on top of the soup. Weird. I am going to attempt to make the soup. It's like a creamy mushroom base kind of thing with some vinegar, so it gives it that little tart edge. It was fantastic. It stood out as one of the most tasty things we had on the trip.
Oh, your electric blanket is like fire hot right now.
Is
right
it?
there.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah,
is.
that's not good.
Okay.
It's like bunched up, and it's like my leg is hot right
Which is
now.
funny because on the edge of the blanket I wasn't feeling much heat, so that was
Yeah,
actually perfect.
it's all right here.
Okay, this was like a toast thing with a bunch of beef going down on it, and I don't even know. We were like, whatever that is, we want that. Excellent. So yeah, we just ordered like a bunch of shit, and it was super super good. Oh, there's a zoomed in my camera killing it on the zoom for St. Barbara's Cathedral. You saw that other photo from far away. This is from standing in the same spot. It's pretty great. There was some big copper stills there
Yeah.
in the restaurant. It was so neat. It was really cute. It was a cute spot. So there's after we were done St. Barbara's at night. Boom. And now the next day we are back in Prague.
Daytime in Prague.
Daytime in Prague, and this fucking cathedral was so good. This is St. Vitus, right? This is in the it's in the
St.
fucking
Vitus?
castle.
St. James. It was a
No,
saint.
let's see.
Saint something.
I'm trying to remember, but Yeah, Saint Vitus, I guess. But oh my god, it was so fucking beautiful. Like look at this, majestic. Yeah, this is at the castle, huh? I think some of the photos are in like weird orders, but we went to Prague Castle, and this was just like majestic as fuck. It was so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, Waybug. I actually didn't see any toilets that really blew my mind. They all kind of made sense, except that the shape of them. I will say this. It might be slightly too much TMI, but the shape of them. It seems like they make them deeper, so that like when you're pooping, there's more distance for things to fall. So there's more of a splashing situation, and it's louder than the toilets that I'm used to, which I think was weird. And then when you
Lord.
flush, it's like a freaking tsunami, and it just like it's crazy. It comes out. It's insane. I made sure to put the lid down every time I flushed because I was afraid it was gonna throw all the water at me. But
Oh my
but
god.
yeah, the shape of the inside of the toilet is really the part that I was always just confused about the whole time.
That's so funny, dude. So
Oh,
they
the different
got
ways to pay.
na-
Oh, yes, you got to pay for them, I guess. Yeah, that too.
Oh.
Right.
I mean, we've been to Europe a bunch of times, so we were pretty prepared for the pay toilets, which is
Yeah.
annoying,
Yeah,
but
annoying.
is
but
what it fucking is, you know. So here is, why is this? Look at my face. I'm so fucking stoked with this shit right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this was
I have to
that was the
shrink
castle.
this up a little bit. Yep. So the castle, Prague Castle. Oh man, yeah, because we couldn't take pictures in that other cathedral. They were serious about it. They
Oh,
were
yeah, that's
dead
right. They made
serious.
us put all the phones away and, like, couldn't even bring our coffees in.
They were a little serious about it too, and they're like,
Yeah.
"No, you go outside and finish it." And I'm like, "I'm sorry," and I just chugged it and was like, "Okay, sorry." I'm not trying to disrespect your space, man. But what a beautiful! This was so beautiful. Look at that, it's fucking sick. The wing skull. Oh my god. Yeah, it sounds pretty nasty there, Sarah.
Yeah, no, not good.
Hold on, we gotta go back. Look at the just paintings on the walls here. God damn. Everything was just so ornate.
Can you
It's
zoom
so
in? I
ornate.
can't really tell what that is.
Oh yeah. It's just
Oh, yeah.
paintings as
Yeah, just all the walls.
all
are
the way
painted.
up, and then all of this amazing work here. Like every little corner you see is just filled with like amazing shit.
All the gold.
All the gold and all the stained glass.
Oh man, the stained glass
Oh
work
my
is
God.
mind blowing.
So cool. And then just even looking at this, like how old is that floor? You know, forever old. I was so glad they let us take photos in here.
Yeah.
This ceiling. Oh my god, look at the fucking ceiling.
Oh yeah.
I was dying. It's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, this was one of the most ornate places. I mean, to me, like rivaling Westminster Abbey. This place was crazy.
Which is hard to beat Westminster. I mean, there's a lot
It's-
of royalty there, and there's a million rooms, and it's massive. So
I
that
just
kind
mean as
of
far as like the ornateness and like the art on everything. like,
Yeah.
it was right there for me.
this whole scenario. We walk around a corner. I'm like, what is going on here with this tent kind of thing, and these fucking angels holding it up? I was like, get out of town right now. It was so cool.
Get out of town.
Oh, and look, there's like a upskirt Jesus
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing going on.
Jesus upskirt.
It's pretty fun. Look at it.
Jesus upskirt. Band name. Dibs.
Oh Lord. And then this was like underneath that whole like curtain thing, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, it's so beautiful. And this is hundreds of years old. Oh, it was so great. I loved it. There's our we're shocked face.
Yeah.
Doors, more
Doors.
awesome
More amazing doors.
doors.
All the amazing doors.
Shannon hugging it. It was so cute. She was so stoked. I mean, we were all stoked, but this was her very first time in Europe, so she had never been in a place that was this old. She's from Montreal, so they do have way more historic stuff than we have here in the States. So she'd been to some old cathedrals that were a few hundred years old, but never this old before. So it was like really blowing your mind.
Yeah.
He's also looking down on you saying, "Oh my God, you're going to hell. You are not wrong on that." It's so funny. Oh, it was just so beautiful. Loved it. And there was like a little nativity scene.
Those stained glass windows were really
The
good.
stained glass is so good. And here we are outside. It was almost as majestic outside as it was inside,
Yeah.
which says a lot. Because, I mean, the outside was
I
fucking
can't
phenomenal.
think of anything that we've seen that was that ornate on the outside.
No. This is all mosaic work, too. Look at all of this mosaic work.
It's all mosaic with like tiny little squares.
And there's like people coming out of graves and shit. Like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
there's-
what is happening,
they are
but
being
it's
risen.
cool.
Yeah, it was.
And then
super
this
cool.
whole other section of it is all like dark and
Mm-hmm.
gothy and shit. And I was like, motherfucker, this is so cool.
That's
Got
very-
some gargoyles kicking it,
very proud.
watching out, making sure everybody's behaving themselves or something. Whatever gargoyles.
Whatever.
Keep keeping the
gargoyles
evil
do.
out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. So then we're walking around Prague Castle, and then all of a sudden, I look down the stairwell and I see a skeleton hanging inside of this skeleton cage thing. And we're like, oh my God, that is not a prop. That is a real fucking skeleton. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a real skeleton standing in this thing because we got up underneath it and I was like, surely there's not a real skeleton hanging up in this thing, but you could see up underneath the skull, which
And the
I don't
feet.
know if any of you have seen human skulls, but we've seen a decent amount of them, especially after going to Sedlik. And there's a lot of detail and a lot of tiny bones right up underneath where the spine meets that whenever they make a model of a skull is not there. This one had all those tiny little bones and everything in there, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
we're
that's
like,
real.
That's a
Like,
real.
that is a real skeleton hanging there. And I was like, how long has it been there? Like, how old is this skeleton? And it's in this torture device thing,
Well-
so you can see how it works.
It was totally real and old, and I was like, oh my God, Shannon was like going to pee or something, and I'm like, we have to wait for Shannon. We realized that there was like a torture chamber down below this guy,
Yeah.
and we're like, hold the phones. We have
Hold
to
the
wait
phones.
for Shannon. It's an emergency, and it was the old jail cell, essentially.
Waybug said he forgot his safe word. Yeah, that's a bitch. That sucks if that happens.
So it was so cool that we got to go down in this little spot and see this weird shit. So, okay, so this is like the stairs where we walked by, and I was like, what's that? Oh, that's a dead guy. What?
So that's
What's
the guy
down
up
there?
there.
Oh
on the
my
little
God.
thing.
It was so cool.
Or girl, we don't know. That's the skeleton.
And there's that fun thing.
Yeah, and there's a skull on the top of
There's
that.
a
too.
skull on the top here. And this was hanging over this hole in the ground.
Yeah, it's like a grate.
Yeah, there's a grate covering like a well type of thing.
Yeah.
And we'll show you. You'll see a photo of what's in there in just a second. So here's the nice rack. Nice stretching rack there.
Nice
That's
rack.
good times. Nice rack.
rack.
This is what was down in the hole. It was pretty far down. I used zoom on my camera. It was kind of hard to get a good shot, but it was filled with gold coins. First off, it was super Goonies-ish.
Very Goonies.
Very Goonies, like, you know, this one's my wish, and I'm taking it back, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right here.
Yeah.
But it was gold coins from who knows how long ago. And then there's this fucking rib cage just kicking it.
Just chilling.
And it was cool because the guy that was like the security guard, he did not speak much English, but he made sure where he's like, look down. He's like, bones. We're like, oh,
Bones.
that's so cool.
There are bones. He
It
was
was
not lying
fucking
about that.
awesome.
But yeah, why is there a stack of like gold coins and a rib cage down there? And, how long have they been there?
Don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe hundreds of years ago, people were like, "Oh, we'll throw in, throw one from my homie or whatever." You know, maybe it was some
Maybe,
kind of way of honoring the people that had died after the prison was not in use. I don't know. I have no idea at all. But That shit was pretty epic. Real Iron Maiden, which, by the way, behold the carving of the fucking face.
Yeah.
How awesome and terrifying, also. Equally as terrifying. Because knowing what happened to people, which this is the inside, the whole thing is just filled with spikes, and they would just put you in there, close it up, you get stabbed with a million spikes.
I don't think you actually get stabbed by them. The
What?
spikes are there so that you can't lean on anything and you have to stand straight up. Like you can't lean over.
Oh,
anywhere.
really? It doesn't just stab you?
No, they don't stab you. If they do, it's
It should
barely.
stab you.
But I believe that it's there so that you can't lean and you're forced to stand straight up the whole time.
That sounds like
And
shit.
You can't like kneel down. Like there's, your movement is restricted severely.
Torture devices, man. That's some fucked up shit.
A lot of torture devices.
Here's a cage
And a whole cage with a whole bunch of torture
where you can't
devices
stand up,
in
and
there.
there's all these, shackles and such.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what was happening in those cages. It looked torturous, but
I
didn't
think
really-
that's where they chain you in there, and you can't stand up, so you're like forced to be like for however long. I mean, it was an actual prison room,
Yeah.
so they probably chucked you in there, and who knows how long you would be in
in there,
there. Yep.
You live here now.
This
Spanish
this
boot.
is fucked up. This one freaked me out. This one actually gave me the fucking willies pretty bad.
No, those are gnarly. And those you do get stabbed.
Where you put your
But
foot
it's
in
a-
there, right? And you
yeah,
just
it's a-
fucking smoosh it up.
Yeah, it's a Spanish boot. They clamp it around essentially the bottom of your calf. So it sits like right above your foot. But it stabs into your leg. And you just wear those around, and they're heavy, so
You can't run.
yeah, you can't run, and you're just in pain because you're being stabbed the whole time.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude.
So,
That's
but you're
fucked
not
up.
dying from it. You're not gonna bleed out from it. You're just wearing a heavy weighted thing that's stabbed into.
That's
you.
pretty horrible. Probably put the smaller torture devices in the cage to keep people's hands off of them.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because
Maybe.
there was other stuff in the cage. Like they did have like different spears and like prods and stuff that were in the cage. So I think that it was holding some of them, but I do think that the cage was meant to hold people.
This one too. This
Yeah.
one was more of a stand-up one, but they put the artifacts inside of it.
Yeah.
So there's probably a couple different versions of holding cells. That other one was definitely much more cramped, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, what'd you do?
Oh, come
no.
on, dude. Hold up. Now I'm going to have to go off through that fucking shit.
You have to put your technical difficulty screen on while we scroll.
Oh, that sucks balls right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it has to load all the
Yeah,
fucking
because it's
things
gonna
again.
load
Oh, my
all of
God.
the. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I have no
Facebook.
idea why it did that.
It
That
just,
was
like,
very,
reset
very
on its
annoying.
own. That's great.
Okay, so now we'll talk about torture devices for the
Now
next
talk
4
about
minutes. We'll have to fucking
But yeah,
stop
that
shit.
that whole little torture chamber was really interesting because we didn't know that we were walking into it at all. Like
We didn't even know it was there. It didn't even say on like
Yeah.
the brochure, like, "Hey, check out this torture
Check out the
chamber."
torture chamber, and normally that's like a big attraction. Everybody wants to go to the torture chamber, which is ironic. But yeah, we didn't even know that that's where we were going, and we walked down in there and we're like, "Oh no way!" And then yeah, they were closing, but the guy that was in there who didn't really speak much English, he saw how stoked like the three of us were, and he let us hang out. So he kind of tried to tell us a couple things. We were asking questions, and he's just like, "I don't know what you're saying." So
Yeah, he was like, "Prison," and I was like, "Oh, is it haunted?" And he was like, "Prison." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
prison.
okay, I get you. Okay."
But,
He was very nice though. We
So, yeah.
were closing up to it, and he was like, "Oh, closing," and we're like, "Sorry."
yeah.
And he let us take a couple more photos and check stuff out. He was really nice. I was
it's
very
really
glad that he saw how excited we were, and I think he was like, "Okay, you guys
probably
are
wondering-
actually really into it right now."
He's probably wondering why we were so excited. Like, we were definitely the most excited out of the other people that were in there when we first got in there. Everybody else was just kind of like looking and lame, and we're just like, "Oh my god, look at this thing!" We're like, definitely the loud Americans in that room at that moment.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really fun, cool thing to end up coming across in a random thing. We're like, "Oh my god, just we gotta walk down these stairs. This is so cool to come across it. Rabbit! I think I just summoned you with my fucking mind.
Ooh.
1 minute ago, in my mind, I was like, "Where's Rabbit? I wish Rabbit was here right now." And then you immediately
Oh,
came.
there you are. You're here.
So either I picked up on that you were making your way in, or you picked up on the vibes of like, hey, you should probably come hang out.
Yeah.
So that's
Hi, Rabbit.
so
Welcome in.
awesome.
Glad you're here.
Sarah, where was that? This is at the Prague Castle.
Prague Castle, which is ginormous, and it's like a land. It's not just like one building, like it's a castle. No, it's like a whole fortress of a bunch of different things. And then we walked down. What was the lane? Golden Lane or something like that?
Yes.
Golden Lane, and it kind of had where people used to live there and little like on this strip until like the 70s, like 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah,
actually
well,
lived in there.
Yeah, well, there's pictures of those coming up for sure,
okay,
and that
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah, some of the photos kind of got out of order, but
This
yeah,
is
we
like
walked down this
beheading
thing.
stuff. Like they just chopped 1,000,000 heads off with these battle
Yeah,
axes, well, execution axes or whatever.
yeah, beheading.
It was
things.
rusty from all the blood over the years. God damn.
Definitely.
That's awesome. You were laying there not sleeping and decided to check your phone. So I think I did summon you. That's
Oh.
awesome that you picked up on it. Seriously, one minute before you popped in my head and I was like, I wish you were hanging out. But now you're here. So
Sorry, we're keeping you awake though.
Haha.
We're keeping you awake.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, we're doing a recap of our vacation since we just got back, and it's been forever. Look at that! Look at the head chopping block right here. Smoosh.
Look at that head chopper.
Smoosh.
Smoosh.
Smoosh. And then this. Oh man, the little thing that goes around the neck with the spikes.
Yep, and they lead you around with. Yeah.
That's fucked up. Yeah, it's a little tiny prison chamber.
Tiny spot. Lots of room for torturing though. As far as torture goes,
lot.
Lots of torture room.
So here we are on the outside. Destiny and Shannon. Oh yeah, here's Golden Lane. Okay,
Okay,
so
here's the
this
Golden
Golden
Lane.
Lane is this cute little small street, but these buildings have been there for I don't know hundreds and hundreds of years. But they were actually inhabited. People lived in the castle center until the 60s. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's neat. Now they're all little shops, and some of them are preserved areas where you can go in and see, like they have plexiglass up so you can see the preserved stuff. It's really cool. Hey, RJ, what's up there, bud? Hey,
Oh, it's the RJ.
glad you're here,
The
RJ.
RJ moon.
I love ya.
Now we got all the moons. All the moons.
Crown jewels.
Ooh,
That's
crown.
a goddamn crown.
That's a crown.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of crown jewels, and there's a lot of mind blowing crown jewels, but
Yeah.
like this was like
Those stones on
Crazy.
the front are like they were
they were
big.
huge,
Like what
Like,
are the little
huge.
what are the little oranges that peel super easy? The anchovy oranges or whatever.
Like mandarin oranges or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But like those small little
Or the
oranges.
cuties.
Yeah, the cuties. Those stones were about the size of that. Like
Yes, it
and
was
they were big.
like next level. It was next level. Yay, RJ, I'm so glad that you're here. We have a shout out to RJ
Yeah.
and all of you guys that are in our little family and love us. Please follow RJ. He just started streaming. And we got to check out the show yesterday and it was awesome. He's doing games and stuff and just super fun RJ banter, which is
Yeah.
always the fucking best. And he just hit 100 followers yesterday. So if
So-
everybody that loves us, if you love us, please go give RJ
If you love
a
us,
follow
go love him.
too, because he is the best. He's actually also the drummer in the Roxy Gun Project and in Crimson Riot. So you guys probably, know Armand, Roxy, and Chris, and RJ is a fantastic musician and a very good friend. So
Yeah.
make sure you follow him. Oh, look at this. It's like an orb. I don't know. Golden orb with jewels and shit. Like, shit was next level. It was crazy.
It's the holy hand grenade. All I kept
And there's the
thinking.
golden scepter.
Golden scepter.
Well, Pluto just started purring very loud, so you get free kitty purrs.
He loves jewels.
He does. this old flag, hand painted flag.
Old ass flag.
And then, oh my God, I was freaking out. These are very large paintings.
Yeah.
These are like probably like 8 feet, maybe
Yeah,
more.
the people in them, I think, are actually larger than actual size. So, like, that dude
massive.
standing there is probably, 6 something feet.
They're huge. And then the frames, I was like, one of these frames is worth more than any of us will ever have in our lifetime, monetarily. Like, holy shit.
Pluto
kinda
Joey
looks
says that she loves you. She says hello and she loves you.
Oh, it's your Auntie Joey. He says hi.
He's just purring.
He's so excited. Oh, and then look at this frame. Get out of here.
That's a frame. Again,
Like
like,
somebody sculpted that. Hand sculpted.
probably,
you kidding?
8 or 9 feet tall frame. Like, it's ridiculous. With just golden.
With crowns on the
Crowns
top and
stuff,
shit.
just
Like,
like-
oh my God. I don't know who this guy was,
ridiculous.
but he has a giant feather in his hat. Look at this
That he does.
feather in his hat.
Really
Oh
good.
my God.
It's a windswept feather.
So fucking cool. And then the cloisters. Oh my God, the ceiling was so cool. This was like the hall, the great hall. So they would have events and
This was the banquet
balls
hall.
and shit like that.
Yeah,
It
look at
was
those
so
cloisters.
fucking cool. So,
Yeah, you
there's-
got to do something with all that space. Yeah, just gigantic paintings. That's
Yeah.
what we need. I need a giant painting with a ridiculous frame on it.
definitely.
Yeah, done. Give me 6 of those.
The two-headed eagle is likely for the Holy Roman Emperor. Ooh, you might be right about that.
Well, shit.
Interesting.
Look,
Might
the
have to look
astrophysics
into
are
that.
coming in with
I
all
know, that's
the
awesome.
knowledge.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah. thank you
Solving
for that.
mysteries left and right.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at these little houses. They're so fucking cute.
So yeah, this was the Golden Lane area.
Oh, and look, the doorway was probably about 5 foot exactly
Yeah.
because I didn't have to duck.
Yeah.
It was
She
awesome.
just like barely went under.
Yep. Everyone else had to
yeah.
duck, and I was like,
Everyone else
oh,
had to
look, I
duck.
don't have to duck or nothing.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
What is this, a room for ants? Pretty much.
It's a room for Sammys.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was perfect for
But
me.
it was cool because they were all the places where people used to live and these little things. There were little shops and stuff, and you're walking down this little strip, and you get to go in. And then some of them, they were the actual houses, and they had plexiglass. And then behind the plexiglass, it was kind of kept up to be like it would have been back in the day, so you could kind of get a peek into life back in the day. And they were super tiny, like
They're so small.
real small.
Oh, and there's us up outside of the entrance, and there was this amazing view.
That was a good.
Look at this friggin' view. Oh my God. It was so cool. Over the whole city of Prague. Yeah, Sarah, you could have walked in there too and not really had to duck.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all pretty stoked, and we could not believe the view. We're like, wowee. And then we're in another room, 1630.
Oh yeah, Anyo 1630
Yeah,
or 30,
no, it's 30.
just 30. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and then this is one of these, the chimney cakes, where it's, they take this dough and they wrap it around these rollers, and then they have like all these hot coals, and they roll them and bake them over the hot coals. And then they put Nutella inside and sugar on the top and almonds. And I saw them on a video before we went out there, and I was like, I'm going to try one of these fuckers. And me and Shannon were like, oh, we're getting one before we go. And it was so good. It was
Yeah.
so good. Actually, there you go. There's the photos of them
And they
being made.
smeared Nutella on the inside of it.
It was so good. And then some of them, they will make them same kind of thing, but it's like cone shaped, and they put ice cream inside. And unfortunately, we didn't have enough time in Prague to eat all the things that I wanted to eat. Next time, I will get the ice cream version, but I at least got the Nutella
We'll be
version,
back.
which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's the big vat of Nutella.
Just
A
about
vat.
melted
It's a
in
fucking
my
vat. That's great. Oh, and here's in one of the rooms in Golden Lane. It was the tarot readers room, so you can see the little cards here. So back in the, was it the 40s or 50s? I think this, maybe the 60s, was used by this fortune teller lady. And then one of the rooms was a person that worked in film, So this is all these old rolls of film and stuff. So cool. Oh, good night, Steve. Sweet dreams to you, my
Good night.
friend. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thanks for wandering the land with us.
I'm glad that you're back and you were ready for us to come back. You know, we were like hoping that people didn't forget about us.
Yeah.
So I
we
feel
were pretty
really
sure
good.
everybody forgot about us. But yeah.
No, thank you for being here, and we'll see you on Wednesday for sure.
Yeah.
So we had some coffee at a cafe before we headed out of town, and we had a beautiful sunset. It was pretty nice.
Mhm.
Very hot pink.
Very hot pink sunset.
It was great. There's
that's
on
as
our
we
way
were-
out.
Yeah. As we were leaving, they had projections of snowflakes, so the little snowflakes were falling, and it said like "Happy New Year." Or
It was
whatever
fucking cute.
on
It was really
It
cute.
fun. It was pretty.
There's some more photos of the outside of that church. Oh,
Oh.
oh. And then okay, so I guess that was a spoiler alert right here.
Yeah.
Dang it. Wrong way.
Wrong way. Wrong way.
Wrong way. So after that, we're like, okay, we got to hit the road. I'm going to go drive to Germany. So it's New Year's Eve. Heads up. Right now, this whole castle adventure that we're walking you guys through, this was New Year's Eve earlier in the day. And our plan is to spend New Year's Eve in Nuremberg, Germany. And
Nuremberg.
Nuremberg.
No.
Nuremberg.
That's a weird word.
It
Nuremberg.
totally is. But to get out there, we had to drive on the main highway, which goes through Germany, which is the fucking Autobahn.
Autobahn. Ooh.
I'd always heard about the Autobahn.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't know much about it. What do I know about the Autobahn? All I knew is people talked about the Autobahn with no speed limit. And I was thinking, I don't know, just silly American, I guess. It was like there's like one stretch called the Autobahn and it is no speed limit. But that's not the case. The highway system that goes through Germany, it's all Autobahn, like the main freeways. And there's certain areas that have like restricted speeds, like through the towns or by the cities. They're like, okay, slow down, chill out. But as soon as you get past that, no speed limit.
Yeah.
No speed limit. And they said it's one of the safest roads in the world, which is weird.
Super weird.
But yeah, that people aren't slowed down by other people, and you know, people understand that everybody's going fast, so you like mind the rules of the road. But you can hit it pretty hard. Unfortunately, because it was nighttime, we had to pop it back a notch a little bit. I really wanted to fucking drive it. I don't wanted to hit it pretty hard, but knowing it was at night and there's curves and stuff, like we were trying to be really mindful.
Yeah. And there's other cars. I mean, so it's not like you're just, alone on a straight stretch of highway and you can just floor it and go 200 mile an hour. Like, you're on a highway, there's cars, and like it's nighttime. This road is like winding, so yeah, you can go as fast as you want to, but you gotta be aware.
You gotta be smart
that
about it.
you're on a highway.
So what's the highest that you went? Do you remember?
The highest like steady speed that I ended up setting the cruise control at, which ended up being like 111 miles per hour.
Not
And-
too shabby.
Yeah. So
Definitely
not
coulda-
crazy.
coulda done
We got up a
more.
little bit past that, just like whenever there's no cars around. I was like, hooray! But steady speed was about 111 is where we ended up rolling. But
Yeah. Oh, really? You think you'd stay around 80? Like, I feel like a good cruising speed for me would probably be like 95, where I'd feel like comfortable. Like, okay, I'm doing
Yeah.
95, I'm cool. Because there's sometimes in my car, I have a really fast car, and I'm just like driving. I'm not really like paying as much attention. I'm I don't know, listening to tunes or whatever. And then I realize
yeah,
I'm going 93 miles an hour, and I'm fine. Everything's fine. Like, oh shit, I need to slow it down. I'm gonna get in big fucking trouble. So I
90's
feel like I
generally
could
where
do.
I end up kind of hovering
good
to
around the
whenever
90
I'm
mark.
Like, oh, but yeah.
But man, it was pretty cool.
It
I
was super
definitely
cool.
would have loved to have.
And as far as like
hit it
being the
harder.
safest highway, like it doesn't really surprise me because all the drivers were really courteous, honestly. Like they, the way that we're supposed to drive here is you stay to the right unless you're passing, and then after you pass, you move back over, and if you're passing people, you stay over on the left. Everyone was extremely aware of that and didn't just hang out in the left lane driving whatever speed like we do here in the States, or like people do here. It was very much where you'd be going and then if somebody comes up behind you, they would move over and they would pass you, and they would get right back over in front. And then if there was no one in front of them, they would move all the way over to the right into the slow lane, essentially, and stay there. And it was like that throughout France too. Like, the drivers were extremely courteous, and everyone stayed over to the side they were supposed to be on.
Yeah, out here in the States, I feel like everybody's very like greedy
Yeah.
with stuff. They're like, I'm more important than you, and it becomes a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
dude,
it was cool to drive on. It was fun. I'm glad I actually can say that.
I
did
like
that.
RJ. He's like, I would do a casual $150
Yeah.
on the Autobahn.
Yeah, just a casual 150.
Oh man,
Yeah.
if I had my car and it was daytime, watch out. My car is awesome at higher speeds, and I would have felt super pumped on it.
Yeah. And really, I think the fastest that I saw people going, like, when I was doing like our top speed, we got passed by a few cars. Not many, honestly. Most people were staying around 80, like 80-ish, somewhere in there. But we did get passed by a few cars, but no one just flying. Not really. I bet 130 was probably the fastest that I really had people pass us at. Like,
And it
really
was
wasn't
safe.
crazy.
It was definitely
safe,
safe.
yeah.
RJ and Joey, like, the mini freaking rips. It does. It's great.
It
And you
does.
pop it into sport mode, and you're like, woo! It's
Yeah.
great.
I did wish
love
that
it.
I had my car on that road too, like one that I was more comfortable with and like
Yeah.
ready for. Like,
At least we
I
had the
was-
fucking GTO, or GTI,
GTI, yeah,
because that was it was no bullshit
yeah.
of a car.
No, it wasn't.
So that was cool. But yeah, if
It
we had
didn't
our own
go
car,
like our turbos though. It didn't pick up and go. Damn. It would.
my turbo was like, wow.
Yeah, that was true. But
It's so fun.
yeah, it was fun, but not what I thought it was going to be, honestly. And then there are stretches where there's no speed limit, but then you'll just be going along all of a sudden, and it'll just be like, bam, there's a speed limit, and you have to like, and like slow down, and like the speed limit's changed a lot. It was way more involved than I thought. I guess there was a lot of speed limits up and down and up and down and up and down.
Oh, and speaking of the speed limits up and down, this is super weird. So, future cars, this Volkswagen Golf that we were given as our rental, one of the features is it knows, I don't know how it knows. It knows what the speed limit is.
Yeah.
And it adjusts the speed of your vehicle based on the speed limit. So, for example, if you're going, it's like 120 kilometers per hour, and then all of a sudden it goes down to 80, your car slows down without you doing anything.
Yeah, it knows, and it would just slow down.
It was fucking weird. And honestly, it seemed a little bit unsafe because if there's people behind you, someone's riding your ass, like you should, I think it should taper down slower. But it kind of all of a sudden like, oh.
Yeah, it would
like,
just like hit the brakes all of
"What?"
a sudden, and you're like, oh. But yeah, Rabbit, I think it's essentially a Google type of thing. It's in the maps. But yeah, it would slow down like super fast. And there were times where I thought we were going to get rear-ended a couple times, and I had to like hit the gas and speed up because I'm like, whoa. Like, so there was times on the Autobahn where I just ended up taking it off of cruise because it was fluctuating so much that the car, I was like, this car's gonna kill us. Like I can't be doing this because none of the other cars are doing that.
Yeah,
so,
it was pretty
but
weird.
It's handy at times, but it was weird.
But it was really neat because on the dash, since it's like future car, it tells you on the dashboard what the speed limit is.
Yeah.
It knows. So it'll be like, okay, 120 kilometers per hour, or okay, now you're at 60. So it says it right there. And then the coolest thing was it was just a gray circle with an X, and that meant no motherfucking speed limit. And
Yeah.
that was awesome. I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, speed limit gone. Like,
It was so neat.
sick.
So yeah, so we're driving, zooming to Nuremberg, where we are going to just spend one night for New Year's Eve. Because it was like, okay, where are we going to be for New Year's Eve? We got to get from Prague to France. So what's in the middle? And we had a couple different options, but Nuremberg was like the most straight shot option. So I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I know there's like World War II significance. And I looked at some photos. I'm like, it looks pretty cool. Let's do it. So New Year's Eve in Germany. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's fucking insane. So, you know, a lot of places, you know, here in Seattle or whatever, for New Year's Eve, there's like a fireworks display that the city puts on. So people come out, boom, it's like a fireworks display that's safe because the city is doing it and it's all contained. Not in Germany. Everybody buys armloads of fireworks and just lights them off everywhere,
Just walks
wherever.
out into the middle of the
Wherever
street.
you
Everybody
want.
lines the streets.
Like, what the fuck? People had like armloads of those rockets. Like, you know, we have the little bottle rockets, and then there's the giant ones with like fucking rockets on them. People just walking around with like a bundle of them under their arm, popping them in fucking bottles, just
Mortars. all the
mortars left and right. And then sometimes the mortars did not go the direction in which you know that they meant for them to go, which is up.
Yeah.
You want them to go up.
I think some of
And
them they
sometimes
didn't
they go
even
up.
want them to go up. I think they just lit it on the ground. I don't think that
Dude,
you
it's
know you
super
drop it in a
dangerous.
tube and it shoots it up. I don't think they had the tube. I think they were just lighting them on
That's
the ground.
not good because there was some times where I was like, "Oh my god, people definitely died
Yeah,
over there. I can
right.
see it. It's not
Some-
good.
Someone's
not
on
good, dude.
fire over there. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
what's up, Link?
Hey, Link.
Welcome, hello.
Nice to see you. Yeah, and all the articles that I looked up and all the videos we watched about Germany New Year's, everyone described it as, quote, a war zone. Like,
Yeah.
everyone. That the word war zone popped up in everything
Yeah.
that we were saying, and it was like, okay.
I mean, look at how many are going off just in this one shot behind me at one time. This is just one shot. Like
Yeah.
wars, like it
And
was
that
just
was-
like everywhere.
That was around us everywhere. Like as soon as it hit midnight, man, shit just popped off from everywhere. That's the other bridge across from us where just everyone, like, it was just a crowd of people.
Oh, at one point, there was these little like beer huts or whatever over here. Like it was going off. Like there was like a problem. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna catch on fire any minute. This
yeah,
is
those
not good.
mortars that were supposed to be in the air, they were not. They were
No.
amongst those tents.
And there was like a bunch of them because they kept going off, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. But it was a very exciting night for sure.
It was.
Not safe at all. Nothing about that was safe. Like people had to lose digits. There, somebody
Oh yeah,
was on
for
fire. Like
fucking sure, dude.
it was crazy. But I will
Yeah.
say the one thing that blew my mind as well was as much as it was just like popping off and around like midnight, like it just like started going. Whenever it ended and everybody ran out of fireworks, the streets kind of cleared out. Like everybody just left, and like they cleared out way earlier
Yeah.
than I ever expected them to. I thought for sure fireworks are going to be going until like 6 or 7 in the morning. We're not going to get any sleep, type of thing. But no, like everybody
No, it
just
was pretty mellow.
blew their load and left. And it was like, oh,
Oh, good night, Joey. And
good night, George.
RJ, I love both of you guys so much. Thanks for coming in and hanging
Yeah,
out with
thank
us
you for
for
coming
story
in.
time.
We appreciate you.
We should hang out and chat soon. Let's have a video chat soon and catch up. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Well, I
Definitely.
appreciate you guys so much. And I hope that everybody gave the RJ Moon a follow.
Yeah.
I really hope that you guys did. Like
Please
I
go.
said, he is a new streamer and he needs all the love and support from the community as he can get. So follow him.
For sure. I'll put
Yeah,
another
thank you
link.
guys for coming in and hanging out. It's always so nice to have you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay. So yeah, so that was pretty nuts. It was pretty nuts, and we loved it. It was so fun. But there was times where I was like, it's like moderately safe right
Yeah.
now. Like I feel like it could be safer.
Yeah.
But
Shannon
also-
got hit with a firework in her head, which was funny because she was talking to one of her friends back home and was like on video chat, like showing her all the things. And was like, oh my God, look how crazy it is. And then Shannon was like, I got hit in the head with a firework and just hung up the phone. so her friend was like, Sam thinks you're dead right now. Like, you're just like, I got hit in the head with a firework and hung up. Like, she probably thinks you're dead right now. But
So funny.
that was funny. So yeah, there was shenanigans for sure.
It was shenanigans, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
And then the tents that were, you go and buy your drinks, nobody had plastic cups, which I was also impressed with, / wondering how safe it was, because some of the drinks came in mugs, and they were like glass mugs, which were super cool, or the champagne came in like glass champagne bottles, but it's like street tents. It's like a street fair, and you just go buy it and have your glass, so everyone's walking around with glass. And I was like, doesn't seem safe, really. Like, I'm glad they're not doing plastic. Like, that's awesome. But we're walking around on like cobblestone streets, and like, how is there? We're just doing glass. Like, okay.
I mean, it's
guess
better for the environment, but like,
it is maybe paper.
oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Like corn hemp cups or something. Like, I don't know. It was weird, but no one else seemed to care. Everybody else thought it was awesome. So okay, cool.
It was fun. It was a really fun night. It was a nice way to spend New Year's, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, everyone was wearing closed-toed shoes because
Those
it
two.
was, you know, winter. So,
Yeah, it was too cold.
but
for
if
that.
you fell over,
yeah, drunk people walking around. Drunk
then
people
that
fall
could
over all the
be
time.
an issue. But we didn't see any issues. We were just like, that could
Yeah,
could
just-
be unsafe at
Yeah,
some
I just
point.
thought
you
it
know?
was interesting. Just one of those like, we're definitely not in America anymore. There's no plastic. We're not in America.
Yep, for sure. Or styrofoam. If it was Texas, it'd be fucking styrofoam.
Yeah, right.
Oh
Definitely.
my god.
Oh, that's a bummer, Link.
Oh, that
But
sucks,
hey,
man.
you know, no hangover. This is true.
Oh. Yeah, Germany was fun.
It was fun.
And then the next day we
was
went
crazy.
to the like old part of Nuremberg, which was really neat. So it had all these cute little timbered houses here, which I loved. It was so cute.
It was super cool. Some of these streets were just so photogenic and iconic. Like,
Adorable.
yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look
Look
at
at
that
it.
go.
Just
Oh,
look at
man. It was so cool. There's me. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's true.
I was just walking the streets and looking around. There's this cool little footbridge.
Yeah.
That was a cute little building. And look at the little like stripy shutters. It was adorable. Loved it.
And all this is day what? How long have we been there at this point?
Been where on the whole trip?
On the whole trip? The 5 days?
And we got there in the first night, and then we had Sedlick Day, and then we had the Castle Day, which was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So this is the fourth day, because this is New
This
Year's
is
Day.
4. Yeah. We're up to
New
day
Year's
4
New Year's Day.
in our 15-day trip.
Something like that, yeah.
Good trip so far.
It's a good trip so far. It's so fucking cute.
Yeah. German castles. Yep. All the German castles.
We were pretty stoked. That guy was cool.
Look at that
It
guy.
was just like on the side of a building, just like no big deal.
He's
I was like,
stoked.
that's fucking awesome. It was just too cute. It was too cute.
And all the little like timber houses and stuff, I was looking for the ones, some of them like where the little sections are, they went through and they would like outline them like in black. And there was one building that I really loved because it had the timber and then it had all the little sections, and the little sections they outlined it in black, and it looked like a sketch of a house. Like it looked like somebody had just drawn this building, and it's like, that is a super cool style.
Oh yeah. Sarah, unfortunately, we could not make it there because it was completely out of the way from where we were going, and I did look it up, and it was completely out of the way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we didn't have much time in Germany. Germany was just a stopover, essentially, to get from Prague to where we were going in France. It was such a long drive, we needed somewhere in between to sleep. So Germany, and it was on New Year's. So we're like, well, we got
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Where are we spending New Year's Eve and starting our day?
But we definitely saw castles.
Right.
So,
Definitely saw castles.
but we will end up going there at some point. It was just not in the cards this time.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is kind of a bummer. Hopefully, it didn't fly into the river, but this is a lot of the remnants from the crazy fireworks shenanigans.
Yeah. Just those giant like box fireworks things.
Oh yeah,
where there's
and
just,
people
like,
just left
huge
them. Like,
ones.
throw them away.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
The streets the next day
Look at
were
this
pretty fucked. Like
Oh yeah,
the street
that night,
cleaners.
and then the next day. Oh my god, it was just all this
Yeah,
fireworks trash.
just everywhere. And all the streets where we were when we were leaving and driving away, it was just piles. And I think that the street sweepers had come through and swept everything like off of the street in the middle of the night, but it hadn't been cleaned up yet, and there were just piles. Like it was rough.
That sucks. The people, the city will clean it up. The
Yeah.
people would just let her. And Sarah, actually, I thought of you when I saw this. I totally did.
Unicorn. Yeah,
totally
she took
did. It's
she
so
did.
cute.
She took that picture and she was like, "Oh, Sarah's gonna love it."
Uh-huh.
So,
I did. I totally did. No, it's super rude. Like, I was like disappointed that people left that much trash around. It was like trashed. So I mean, maybe it gave people jobs and income or whatever to be on the cleanup crew, but it was like over the top.
Yeah.
But look how cute Nuremberg is. So cute.
It was. That little old town part was super cool.
It was adorable. Then we went and got some food at this cute little restaurant.
At the most German restaurant.
It was
ever.
super German.
And our friend back there. Oh, we got our guy.
Oh yeah, that was
our
server guy
who was very cold and didn't crack a
was so
smile
funny, dude.
once. But then he ended up being super sarcastic and just giving us shit by the he warmed up to us. It was good.
Oh my God, Rabbit, I
making
feel you so hard on that you'd be compelled to pick up everything. I know. I was too. I was. But it was just impossible. There wasn't there was trash cans everywhere to just throw it in. It was
the trash cans were overflowing.
It was piles. It was
piles
crazy.
and piles.
So that's my sour beef. It
Sour
was
beef.
long marinated beef. It was like just the fork makes it fall apart, and it had a gingerbread sauce on the outside.
Oh, that beef was really good. It did just
It
fall
was
apart.
really good. And then there's potato dumplings, and then cabbage, sour cabbage or something.
Which was also really
Apple cabbage.
good. Yeah, it was like apple
that.
something cabbage.
And then there is Dusty's venison steak
Yeah.
with a
venison
pear with
and
cranberries on it,
pears and cranberries.
with bread dumplings.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shannon got the pork knuckle, which is very famous in the area, and I can see why, because it was some of the best pork.
It
of all
was
time.
real good too. Everything was
good.
amazing.
The potatoes do look like boobs.
That's true.
And then we also got this. The guy was like, "You want all of this?" And we're like, "Yes."
Like,
It was
yeah.
mushrooms in a creamy sauce.
Yeah.
He was like, "Seriously?" He had this look like, "You fucking Americans
We're like
are
three
crazy."
tiny people, and we go in and order all this
But
food, and
all
we
the
ate
food,
all of
all
it.
the food.
We cleared all it out. But yeah, he was like, You want all of this?" I'm like, yeah.
So this restaurant was established in 1498.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know that until we came out. And I saw the sign. I was like, "Shut the fuck up. We just ate at a place that was established in 1498. Holy shit.
Sarah, Wiener Schnitzel's delicious.
It
Das
is.
Wiener Schnitzel. It is delicious.
Okay, so this is a cathedral in Nuremberg.
Yeah. Random cathedral we
That
walked
was
up on.
It's just a random one. And apparently we found out that it was the most important cathedral in all of the city, which we just kind of wandered upon it. And it was so fucking beautiful. Saint Sebald. And I loved this place. The font work too. Dusty talking about font work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Things are written so
lettering was
beautifully.
good.
That's great. Oh, you lived in Sweden for 3 years? That is awesome, man. Oh, Swedish meatballs, man. I really enjoyed the Swedish meatballs in Sweden. So I was like, it sounds so cliche, but I'm doing it with the lingonberries. Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Look at that bitch. I was
Look
like,
at
get
that
out of here. With the winged hourglass and
Yeah.
over the skulls. I was like, pfft,
It's gorgeous.
come on, man. Like, everything was just majestic. Look at that organ. What?
organ.
It was like a 2-story high organ.
That's one thing. I never really thought that I cared about pipe organs until we started traveling around and going into all these cathedrals. And now that's like one of my favorite parts. Like anytime we walk into a cathedral, I immediately start looking around for the pipe organ. I'm like, where's it at? Because some of them are super ornate and just like they're giant.
They're
and to play them,
massive.
you like a lot of them have their own like private little like room that you walk into to play it. And I'm like, what's in that room? Like, what does it look like? Like,
I love this painting. It was so fucking cool.
really good painting. I don't know what it means or what's going on, but I'm loving it.
Somebody on Facebook tried to translate it. I forgot what they...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And now I can't remember off the top of my head what they said that it was. But I love it. I love that. That was so cool.
Super cool.
Wait, let me try to remember. It said something like, was it worth it?
Let me work it.
What?
Was it worth it? Let me work it. your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's your first work up when you're home.
I did not get the reference, but I'm glad that you sang me that song. That's good.
That's all right.
Well, yeah, well, was it worth it? Like, yes, I believe it was, or something like that. They said something that.
Okay.
Okay, Rabbit knew where you're going with that.
Rabbit got it. Thanks, Rabbit.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago you actually played that song for me because you made a reference to it, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're like, what? You don't know the song? And you put it on, and I was like, I literally never heard the song.
Yeah, it stood out because she does the clip backwards, and I just like the backward words, but it's weird that it got worked into a song.
Yeah.
And now it's just in there forever. That's there forever now. Even though it's terrible, terrible song.
That's not a good song.
Nope.
That's okay. So, yeah, this cathedral was pretty gosh darn great.
It was super
There was
cool.
some awesome paintings in here. I mean, look at this shit. It's like gold paint. Like, this is probably a 600-year-old painting. And it was just like chock full of amazing paintings. This one was the funniest one, you guys. You ready for this shit? Look at this wonky ass fucking baby's face. And the boob is like up here. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it is not where a boob would be. And then this guy is like, behold the booby.
He's
Yeah,
trying not
like,
to
all
look, though.
serious.
He's like, I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
What's up with
But
this
the
fucking
baby looks
baby's
like
face,
it's
though,
like
dude?
35 years old.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not understand. And then there's these kids down below that also look weird as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Medieval baby syndrome. That's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, that was the funniest one. I was like, shut up. That is so good. This painting was like over the top. There was
was a lot
so
going on in this
much
painting.
going on in there. I was like, what the fuck? Like, somebody nailed it. Nailed it. I didn't even do that on purpose.
Nailed it like Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, the first push up.
Yeah.
And this was interesting because this dude was hung upside down.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's up with that?
And that's the glow around his head means he's a saint. So it's a saint and he's being crucified and that dude's like kicking him in the ribs. So whoever that is not having a good time. Somebody's
No, not.
Fucking up
It's
that
not a
saint.
good time. You're gonna have a bad time.
gonna have a bad time. Oh
This
yeah,
was
and this
pretty
little
cool, was
wooden
it?
sculpture I was digging. It's like a Krampus like humping a goat or something.
Oh, it's on a horse.
Oh, it's like riding a little horse. It wasn't a Krampus. It's like a little gopher Krampus riding a horse, and it was just in the church. Some artist was using some of the reclaimed wood from the church or from the cathedral, so we had gathered
That's cool, right?
and had carved that. And yeah, it was like a little gopher Krampus.
I thought it was so awesome too.
Yeah,
It was
that
so
was
neat.
great. Like,
Like,
look
what
at,
made you decide to do that? That's cool.
Yep. I'm for it.
This was so neat.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what was in this box or who is in this box. I don't know.
No idea.
It didn't say. If it did say it was in German, I don't know what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
But the ornateness of this was so beautiful. But the coolest part is what it was resting on. Snails!
It's
Look at the
got
snails!
Yeah, there's little snails carrying
Oh
it,
my,
and that's
God.
freaking cool.
I love this thing. It just stopped me dead in my tracks, and I was like,
I loved
holy
it.
fucking
That's
shit.
what I told Sammy whenever I die, if I do end up getting buried for some reason, I want snails to carry my coffin like that.
Yeah.
I
you
want
got
a
it.
procession,
Done.
and I want snails.
Look at these fucking snails. And apparently it was like a thing there because there was snails on the little postcards, which I got, and like snails was some kind of recurring theme.
Yep, snailed it.
See,
Slug
what's up
life,
with
yeah.
this? Where everything else is in this like dark color, but then this is just like a bronze face. Like, I don't know what's up with that. It's fucking weird.
It may all be bronze, but like painted or something. So I wonder if it's been rubbed off, or
Maybe.
vice versa.
I don't know, but how fucking sweet
But
is
yeah,
that?
tribute.
It's so
But yeah,
good.
we saw the snails and we were like, no way, there's snails carrying it. That's
Fucking
awesome.
snails. And then there's this hole, which is for money. Somebody confirmed that.
Yeah, that's for money.
It is actually a money hole.
But it's like
But we're
built
like,
into
what
the
is
wall
going
and
on
it's
here?
like sideways. It's weird.
Oh, that's a good point, Link. That if it's like a lucky spot to rub, that people could be rubbing on it, and
Yeah.
that's super smart.
Yeah.
I
And
like
it just
that.
ends up shiny. It's just been polished over the 1,000 years
Yeah.
it's been sitting there.
And then there was these like crazy wood carving, like punk rock nails.
Rock wood sculptures.
I don't know what the deal is. They also don't understand where boobs go on this one.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's just an issue. Oh,
No.
you know what? Maybe because it's a bunch of priests who never have seen boobies in real life.
Never seen boobies.
You know, it's weird.
Probably true.
And then this was so pretty. Like, wow, it's so fucking beautiful. All the sun rays and the little stars was like, oh my God, I love it. I fucking loved it.
Didn't have snails though.
No snails.
Should have
Snail free zone. And then this, oh, I don't know what was going on here. Only this one section had this design on it. And I don't know what the deal is and why. Like, it was just this one section.
There were some other places that had stuff like that on it, but they were super faded and worn down. So that just seems to be the best preserved section. Because I did
Oh,
see it on
okay.
some other pillars, but it was real faded.
Sarah wanted to see the sun thing.
Oh yeah, the sun
I
thing.
know, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's like a lamp. It's just like a light.
Like a hanging light. I love it. It's so fucking neat.
Probably is supposed to be like Star of Bethlehem or something
It's
like that.
It's really cool. Whatever it is, I agree. It's like super fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then I loved the stripey aspects that they had in here. That all these things were striped. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
And that's a unique style, building style.
Yeah.
It's cool. Oh, and then there's this one here. The guy with the little fucking Speedo.
Oh yeah.
Look at his little Speedo.
Speedo guy. Not having a good day. His arms are not doing good.
Die. Yep. Okay. There's the outside. Hold on, I really gotta pee.
Okay.
Entertain the people for like 2 seconds.
Okay. Can I flip through some of these photos
course.
still? Okay. We're gonna keep flipping. I won't leave Nuremberg though.
Okay.
If I do, we'll back up and we won't tell.
Do whatever you want.
These guys, yeah. Yeah, this church was super cool. Chapel. No, cathedral. Cathedral. There you go. Yeah. So this was the whole thing. Super cool. These being green, they were probably copper, I'm guessing. All the green stuff is generally just tainted copper. So, or oxidized or whatever. Tarnished is the word, not tainted. My copper's been tainted. But I bet that was really pretty. This guy in here, what is that? That's all words we can't read. Oh, that's the one that has this guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. More stained glass. The stained glass game is strong in these parts. Oh, this one was cool, 'cause I don't know if we can see it or not, but each panel is a different saint. I was reading about it right before we left, and it tells some kind of a story, but essentially each panel holds a different saint that they were representing in their stained glass, which was super cool. And then it's just surrounded by the most ornate everything. This guy back here, he's doing good. That guy again,
It was,
still hanging out.
oh, I made that my profile picture so it popped up. Okay. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, the door opening freaked you out because it sounded like it was coming from your room. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Nope, that's not.
Okay, so that was our little tour of Nuremberg. We didn't get to do too much, but
But we
it's
ate
okay.
food
It
and
was-
we saw a
We
cathedral.
ate food, saw a cathedral, saw crazy fireworks displays. That was pretty much what we got to work with, you know. But oh, everybody,
Do you want to hold him? I'm gonna get up real quick too.
you could try. Pop him down. Okay. Hello, sweetheart.
Hi, kitty cat.
Want to sit on my lap? You can if you want to. I'll say hi to your friends. Look at your friends. And the internet.
And look at your internet friends.
You have internet friends. Oh, he's so fucking cute. He's the best. Okay, he's leaving. which is probably good because I'm leaning over in the computer anyway. You're leaving? We're about to go to the next destination.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Actually, before we go to the next destination, since Dusty's running to grab another beer, anybody have any questions so far? Is there anything that you guys are curious about Prague or Germany so far? Let me know. I'll answer. I will answer your questions. Because now I'm obviously a specialist in these things. But no, if you're curious about any of that stuff, let me know before we move forward. Germany's your favorite so far? Cool. Cool. Yeah, I wish we had more time there for sure, but it was neat to just kind of go through for a minute and kind of get a feel for it. And next time we'd like to do more of it, especially Bavaria. My favorite thing that I got to see in Germany, since it was so limited of time, honestly, I loved that cathedral. It was so fucking beautiful. I thought it was just magnificent, and seeing all of the writing on the wall, like the fonts of the writing, I really like that because I'd never seen that kind of like font work like in real life. You know, it's very like specific, like looks very German, and getting to see that was just really, really neat. So I really enjoyed the artistic representation that was very obvious inside of that cathedral. It was really, really nice. And it was different because, you know, we went to the cathedrals in Prague. That was one thing. And then when we went to France, it was totally different. And then all the other ones we've been to, and, you know, Italy and Greece and everywhere, it was very unique to that area. The artwork was very specific, and I thought that was really cool. So.
Oh yeah, the German fonts.
Yeah, I really loved it. Yeah, Sarah asked, what was your favorite thing? Oh, good night, Mom. Thanks for hanging out and learning about the first leg of the journey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't make it to France because I know you were really excited and you loved France. But
That's true.
it's okay.
Actually, if you can hang on for just a minute, the next location you're really going to love.
Yeah, that was, the next one is
But-
Colmar. So if you got to go, it's totally okay. But if you can hang out for a little
Anyway,
bit,
we'll definitely be
you're gonna
posting this
enjoy
on.
Colmar.
We'll be posting this on YouTube, so you can always come back to it. But Colmar, I think, is going to be your favorite for sure.
Yes. I mean, you definitely saw the Facebook photos, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
we get
You
to
saw
talk
that.
about it.
You already seen it. Never mind.
But here we go. The very first photo, we get to Colmar at night. Okay, she can do it. Six.
Okay,
six,
good.
six.
Yeah, at
Is-
least hang out through Colmar, and then we'll let you go to bed.
It's the cutest town of all time. I can't imagine a cuter place in the world. Like, what? I thought about it. What would make a place cuter? Nothing.
Nothing.
Boom. Look, I mean, it's so fucking goddamn cute. And this was the first night we parked in the parking garage, and then we're walking, and then we walked right by this scene. And this area, this is La Petite Venise. So it's the little Venice, and you can take a boat tour of this area. And this little street was so freaking cute. These are all heart locks,
Yeah, they're little padlocks that are shaped like hearts,
which is
and
adorable.
everybody's written their initials on them, and like, "I love you forever," you know. Or,
We should have done it. We didn't do it.
we didn't. We
We suck.
ended up getting
We suck.
a locket.
Well, a lock, not a locket.
Yeah, not a locket. A lock.
They're really, really, really cute. So, this is just walking from the car. I was dying. And the moon was right there. This is like the kind of the bummer thing is that when we first pulled into town, they had all these floodlights on all the buildings. They were like purple and pink, magical colors, and we were like, "Oh my fucking god,
And
this
all the
is
Christmas
so
lights everywhere.
all the lights. It was so cool." And then we're in the room just dropping our shit off, about to go walk around, and then boom, all the lights shut off, and we were like, "Well, that sucks." You know, maybe like to cut down on power, or maybe to not annoy the neighbors through the windows and stuff like that. Maybe they shut it down. It was like 10 p.m. So like I guess they just shut it down at 10, but I'm sure tomorrow it'll be back. And then it was not back.
Nope, not the
Because
whole
it was
time.
New Year's Day when we arrived at night. So I guess they probably did the lights through New Year's Day and then we're done. And that was super sad. But at least we got to see it for like a minute. But I really wanted to get some super cute photos of everything lit up, really neat. And then I got
Yeah, we
screwed out of
literally saw it as we drove into the town, and then we loaded all of our bags and stuff up into the room, and we're like, okay, let's go. And all of them went off, and we're like,
Yeah.
no way. And then they never came back on again.
Sucked.
So it's like we saw.
But at least
like,
we saw it for a second because when we
15
drove
minutes.
in, we were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" Like it was so extra
Yeah, it
epic. It
was
was
super
already
cool.
epic, but then it was like extra.
Yeah.
And Link had a very good point. Glad you brought it up because this is something very relevant to this town. It is right on the border of Germany and France. It is now technically France, but it has gone back and forth many times over the past bunch of 100 years. It's been Germany, it's been France, it's been Germany, it's been France, battling over it. It's gone back and forth. So something that makes it very unique is it is a fusion of both of the cultures, which is so cool because it's not German and it's not French. It is absolutely a combination of German and French. So it's, I mean, it is France. So it's the main language right now there is French. And there's a lot of like French restaurants and pastries and stuff like that. It's more geared towards being France, but there's a lot of German influence there as well, which is super neat. So this region is the Alsace. I was calling it Alsace. I don't know. Alsace is
Alsace, I
Al-
believe.
Alsace. So that region is a few different towns, Colmar being one of them, and it is a world-renowned wine-making region. Mainly white wines. Riesling and Pinot Grigio are their main ones. They're like famous for their Rieslings. They also do have Pinot Noir, which is their one red grape, but they focus mainly on white wines over there. And I had the best wine that I've ever had in my life. I'm not much of a drinker, so that doesn't say very much. I barely ever drink, but I try stuff. I taste just to see. And we got a bottle of wine, and of course I wanted to try it. I'm like, we're in the wine region. I'll drink a little white wine. And it was the fucking best wine of all time.
It was real
so
good.
good. It was so good.
It was super sweet, which is why Sammy liked it.
It was
But
super sweet.
it was real good.
I loved it. So, okay, so here is walking around Colmar. This is a little pub that is like right around the corner from our Airbnb, which has a whole Christmas scene on top of the roof. It was like so over the top.
So yeah, the way that those floodlights are coloring the buildings, like the whole little area was like that
It was so
whenever we
fucking
drove
cool.
in. So
It was too good.
yeah.
Look, that's the little, I don't know, post office or something, and it was just like the cutest thing ever. Oh my god, and all the little colors and everything. It looked fake. It looked like they made it look like this to be cute and to like look fun, but this is just what it is. This is just how it looks. And all the cute things that we've seen that have this kind of style is all based off of this region. So Beauty and the Beast, and then Howl's Moving Castle, which I actually haven't seen, but it's one of Tavia's favorite movies. It's a Miyazaki, right? I always say it differently. I think I got it right this time.
I think that was it, yeah.
But that was in this town. So, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
we
like
kept-
giant dollhouses.
We kept joking that it looked like we were in a theme park, like Universal Studios or something, but it was all real and the stuff had been there forever. But it did. It felt like you just walked into like a theme park. It was
Yeah.
trippy.
And there's hearts everywhere. So the little heart-shaped locks, there are hearts everywhere in this town. It is just part of their decor. It's just hearts, 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 red hearts everywhere. I got a cool metal heart. See, there you go. You got little hearts right here. This is cool because it's the restaurant cauldron, and there's half a cauldron, and then there's just little freaking hearts and cute shit. I was like, come on. This is right around the corner from our spot. We had the perfect location ever. So our spot was right around the corner from here. Just walking the little streets. It's so
Yeah, and all the
fucking
little
cute.
cobblestone roads and stuff was super cool. Very labyrinthy.
Right? You need to live in Harttown? I know, man.
Yeah.
I know.
And yeah, there were hearts on everything.
Oh, so the next day, we go down to a shop that was right downstairs from our little apartment. And this was a wine and cheese and meat shop. we were like, oh my God, this is the best shop ever. We were 30 minutes away from Munster, like Munster cheese. We were like 30 minutes drive from it. So
Munster, the town.
yeah. So they were all about the Munster cheese. And we got 2 wheels of cheese, 2 different versions of Munster cheese. Oh my God. The lady at this shop was very serious about cheese. She was like, listen, you got to get this cheese. Are you going home right now? Because you need to we need to vacuum seal it and it has to be put into the fridge. And we're like, listen, we're going to go eat it right now. It's fine. Calm down. But she was like, serious cheese lady. And she also told us about the jelly. She's like, you need to get this jelly and it's special to this area. It's Pinot Grigio jelly. And you eat it, you take the cheese, you get the baguette next door, you do the cheese with the baguette with the jelly on it, and we're like, aye, Captain.
Done.
We're like, we're also taking the salami. And we had the nicest, most amazing lunch. The first day we got back, I woke up in the morning and I was like, I just want the cheese and meat breakfast. There's our jelly, our 2 different wheels of cheese, which I got to tell you, it was kind of weird because normally Munster cheese, you get it at the store out here. It's super mild and, it's creamy. It's fine. It's not stinky. These wheels of cheese, whatever was the rind was made of or that it was soaked in, I don't fucking know, but it was super smelly.
Yeah, they were fragrant for sure.
It was like aggressively smelly.
Yeah.
Where we were like, fuck, dude. It's like smelled up the whole fucking apartment.
Yeah.
Even my hand, at one point, I unwrapped it and I touched it to cut it. And then I was like, oh, Jesus God. And I washed my hand. Like, it was like real smelly. And I was a little scared because I don't like stinky cheese. Like, I don't like blue cheese and like some of the real like intense cheeses. But
yeah, and it didn't taste intense like that.
It
but
didn't.
like something about the smell of it, like maybe it was a rind or whatever it was soaked in, but it was
It was intense.
fragrant for sure.
But it was way creamier than the Munster cheese that we know of. It was almost like brie consistency. I would definitely say
Yeah, it
that's
was very
the
brie-esque.
closest that it was brie-ish.
And the foie gras
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Which
almost forgot about
I
that.
never had.
Yeah, we had never had foie gras before, and Shannon was like, "Oh my God, we're getting foie gras," and I was like, "That sounds gross," but I'm in France and it's a thing, and I will totally give it a try. I'm always down to try something new. If I don't like it, I'll never eat it, and I know that there is ethical concerns about foie gras. I get it, but it was like a when in Rome kind of thing, and I'm like, I will try the thing, and honestly, it was delicious. It is a fatty duck liver pate, in case anybody is not familiar, but it was like real good.
It was good. It wasn't. I mean, honestly, it's not something that I would seek out and really like want. Like, I'm not gonna be craving foie gras, but to try it, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
it was
yeah,
pretty cool. We tried a
It's-
couple different versions of it,
that's fine. It's
so
fine.
yeah, it was fine. I liked it, but
I
that
liked-
salami was real good.
The
That
salami was
that
good. That's
that
I
was
liked
better.
everything else more than I liked the foie gras. Really.
Yeah, it was all right. Okay, now here we are walking around. This is the cutest building. It looks like a friggin' gingerbread house. Come on.
It does.
Look at it go. It's so cute. They decorate this town so cute for Christmas. It's the most Christmassy, cutest place ever. It would have been more Christmas to me if all the lights were on. Some of them were, not all of them. And then we walked down this little bridge, and it was so cute because the view was just so great. Here we go. Look at it. It says
This is
Romantique Hotel. I was like, it is so romantic.
romantic.
And then there's bears everywhere. Something about this town, I don't know what the deal was. It's adorable, but there was teddy bears and polar bears everywhere. Teddy bears, teddy bears, teddy bears.
It was for Christmas. The guy on the boat tour that we took was talking about them. It was for Christmas, and they're essentially like the polar bears, and then it just kind of morphed into like a teddy bear thing. But
There's like
yeah.
bears and it's crazy because people just put them outside of their businesses in their house. It's like full blown like stuffed animals, and when it rains, they're probably waterlogged as fuck.
Yeah,
It's
they
messed
just
up.
soak everything up. Yeah, their Christmas decorations were interesting because it was like nothing that we've ever done.
No, it
or
was
seen around here.
very over the top. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at this. All the bears.
Yeah,
It was like so like gaudy. but so fun. A little
Yeah.
penguin guy up there.
Yeah, super fun.
It was so neat. This restaurant, we went to this restaurant, and I got the best meal I think I had on the entire trip was at that restaurant.
Yeah.
I think there'll be photos of that coming up, I believe. I think. Did we do photos of that? I
Probably.
hope so.
I'm sure there are.
It was so good.
That wall looks like foie gras.
Yes, it is. Oh, it must be horrible having to take all these Christmas decorations
Oh yeah, right.
down because it is like a lot of them. Yeah, bears for Christmas, love hearts for life. Straight up, the love hearts. It's strong out there.
And yeah, Princess, like being a touristy town, like it is touristy, but it's not at all like on the radar anywhere. Like,
Well, I guess during the summertime, it's very busy. On the Rick Steves thing, he was saying that during the summer, there's a lot more people.
I'm sure, but as far as like known like touristy towns,
Yeah.
like we kept thinking like, why have we never heard of this town? Like it seems like it would just be one of the main like tourist destinations
Yeah.
out there, but I'm like,
Or
why
like
have we never
known as
heard-
like the honeymoon spot of the world because it's
Yeah.
the cutest thing, and I'd never even heard of it before.
Yeah, it was weird. So it was touristy for sure, but yeah, why it wasn't just like #1 tourist destination in the planet,
I
we're
don't-
shocked.
I don't know.
Like-
And then the gingerbread. So all of the houses look like gingerbread houses, and gingerbread houses were actually modeled after this region of France, which is so cool. Like the traditional gingerbread houses, and they had so much gingerbread, like the most. And I saw this guy, and he was so cute. Ta-da! It was huge, so big. There was so much gingerbread everywhere.
That was a lot. And
And I
those
love
you
gingerbread.
can't tell the scale of those, but like that Santa Claus over there is almost like almost 2 feet. No, the other one over on this side, the big one.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're big. It's they were gigantic.
Oh yeah, no, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
It was over
massive.
over a foot and a half.
And I love gingerbread. And I was trying to find like the best gingerbread. Look at that guy! I found that guy outside. Gingerbread friend.
Found this guy. Made a gingerbread friend.
Yep. And then this building, this was right next to our room, so we could see out the window this amazing roof where it's like these gold. You can't see it because the light's not shining on it, but it's like gold and green.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Nuckin!
Oh, it's Nuckin.
Hey!
Hi, Nuckin.
Oh my God! And you totally subscribed. I love it.
Oh, 20 months.
Aw. We're late. You're late.
There, you're late.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for resubbing. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're doing well. I heart you. But yeah,
Weird.
we
I
were.
wonder why it said that 3 times.
I don't know. It's weird, huh?
Did you subscribe 3 times? Oh, that's weird.
It's like you subscribed for 20 months. 20 months. 20. That's
Yeah.
really weird.
Wow.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So this place was right downstairs from our room, and look at the excessive amount of hearts,
all the hearts.
man. It was so cute. I fucking loved it. I kept saying, "Oh my God, it's so fucking cute. It's so cute." I was like, I am so sorry. I feel like a broken record where I keep saying that it's cute, but I don't know what else to say. Like I
Oh,
fucking
no.
hit. Damn it. Okay, I have to scroll through all that shit again. That is too fucking bad. But we're gonna scroll.
Yeah.
Give me a
And
second.
speaking of the hearts, so on the shutters, we learned that you'd see the shutters on the windows, and they would have the little hearts cut into the shutters. And we learned that there was symbology behind those. And back in the day, they would have the heart shutters, and they would basically signify that there was an available lady in that household. And whenever she got engaged or got married, they would go and in the heart they would cut the heart to be a diamond, which is a symbol of like good luck, good fortune, and like well wishes essentially. But the hearts on the shutters meant there was an available lady, and then when she got married, they'd make it a diamond for good luck. So the shutters actually had symbolism in them. And then you'd see like 3 slits cut in them as well. And they said that was a religious thing. So it was like the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost type of thing. So the little symbols on all the shutters had
Which was neat
meaning,
because the
which
whole
was
time we
cool.
were like, look at all the hearts. It's so cute. And then when we learned that from that guy, I was like, wow, that's awesome to know that there was actually some kind of like reason for it initially. Now it's just more of an aesthetic thing. Like it just kind of spread, you know, and they're like, okay, they had all these hearts and then they just added all these more hearts. And it was just like love hearts for eternity.
Yeah.
But I loved how the little shutters were just so cute.
Yeah, it was all super cute.
It's so fucking cute.
Nugget. You don't call, you don't write.
Oh, I am so
We-
glad that you popped in. We love you and miss you.
We
so
didn't
much.
call because we
Sorry.
were in other countries and it would have been super expensive.
Yes, the roaming charges would have
Yeah,
been
roaming
horrible.
charges would have been a bitch.
But yeah, since you're late into the show here tonight, we are covering our awesome European vacation,
Yes.
which we just got back like 2 days ago, and we 100% had so much fun. And we have been going chronologically through the trip. And
Way about Tinder by Shutters. Yeah, basically. It was pretty much that.
Yes.
And then I was thinking, like, if you put hearts on your shutters, is there just like a line of boys outside your door now? Like, you just have like, there's just like a waiting line to get in.
Oh, of course, now it's loading the photos the most slow that it possibly can right now
Oh, yeah.
for me to get back
For sure.
to where.
It's going to take a minute.
Okay, so good. Sarah's asking, and that will bide us some time until I can get back to where we're. I'd like to know how that jet lag is treating you. I feel better today. I feel like we're like evening out better today.
Yeah, we're getting better.
But on the way back, it was rough. On the way out there, it's fine. Like we always choose to travel doing red eye flights. So we'll take a flight that's anywhere from like 6 p.m. to like 11 p.m. or something like that on the way out there. So that way we just sleep on the plane. And then we arrive in London. Normally the flights always arrive around like noon, 11 or noon. And it's great because we just slept on the plane. Even if we didn't sleep like a baby, like super sound for a long time, like we still got some sleep where we're like, we get there, it's noon, we're ready to go. We're like, okay, we're good.
I sleep like a baby.
He does. He sleeps before the plane even takes off.
Yeah.
Straight up. So, on the way back though, that's a toughie
Yeah.
because it's a very long flight. It's like a over 10-hour flight, and it is not just a flight, but then you have to be at the airport a couple hours early. You have to leave from like wherever we were at. We took the tube from our friend's house to the airport, so that took a little time too. We had like 2 hours at the airport, 10 hours on the plane, and then we had to wait in customs line when we got back. And it's like, it's a long experience. We figured out, I think it was like 15, almost 16 hours
Yeah.
for that experience, which was fine. But then we got back and we were like, fuck, okay, we didn't sleep that much on the plane. We're fine, you know? And then all of a sudden it was like 9 o'clock and I was asleep. Like
Yeah.
we got home at
And the flight back
7:30.
always messes with you too because you fly for so long. You fly for like 9-10 hours and then you land like an hour or two after you left, essentially. So, you know, you leave at, we left at what, like 2:30 is when our flight was supposed, well, we left at like 3:30 is when our flight
yeah,
was
our flight was supposed to
leave.
leave at 2:30, but it was
Yeah.
like 3:40.
Yeah, so we left at like 3:40, almost 4, 3:30 to 4, something like that. And then we landed at like 5:30. So we fly forever. We flew for not quite 10 hours. It was like a little over 9.5 hours. And then we landed an hour and a half after we left, essentially. So your body is just super confused. And then we were talking about how on the way on that flight, we left and it was daytime, and then you hit nighttime. So you see like the sunset. And the way that you fly over to get from there to Seattle, you kind of go up over the top of the planet. And the way that it fell, just like the hours, we saw a sunset, and then we saw a sunrise, and then we saw a sunset, and then we saw a sunrise, and then we landed in the evening. Like
It was weird.
was
We had
really
two
weird.
night times.
Yeah, there was multiple night
It was
times.
super weird.
Yeah.
It was super fucking weird.
Yeah.
But we saw Aurora on the fucking plane on the way back.
That's true.
We got to see
We got
Aurora
that.
from the plane again, which I feel so fortunate that I've seen it once, ever. But we got to see it again, and it was actually a pretty decent Aurora
Yeah, it was a pretty bright stripe
storm.
going
You know,
across there.
like it was pretty. It was pretty good. I watched the entire Back to the Future trilogy, and I kept checking outside, but I kind of like gave up after a little while. I was like, I can't see anything, and the weird new plane windows that have like the automatic tinting on it or whatever. I was like, I don't even know if I be able to see them anyway. The way this shit is tinted, it sucks. But after I finished the second Back to the Future, I was like, okay, let me just give it a look. And I looked outside and I was like, oh my god, like, babe, you gotta fucking look at this right now. Like it was going pretty strong.
Yeah, it was
was
going hard.
awesome. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty pumped on that.
But yeah, so the jet lag it's real. And then on the way back, like, you know, since we don't have plans or not doing anything, like, I always just plan to sit on the couch the whole next day anyway, so I don't even, like, try to sleep on the plane at all. And the flight back is when I, like, hang out and watch movies and, like, listen to music or read a book or do whatever, and, like, they keep bringing you snacks and drinks and stuff, so it's just like, yeah, okay, like, there's food, there's snacks, I got movies, so I just kind of hang out and enjoy the flight. Like, I love a long flight whenever I don't have anything to do when I land. So, you know, you just kind of hang out. So we showed up and had been awake for a long time, got home, and we're like, we have to try and stay awake as late as we can to try and get back onto the hours. And yeah, no, you just fall asleep immediately.
not
you
work.
You crash real hard, and your body is just like, I don't know what's going on, and you just fall over and crash. And then you wake up at, you know, like 6 in the morning and don't know what to do, and you're wandering around your house like I've never seen morning before. I don't know what to do with it. So it's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
it was a little rough, but it's okay. It's not that bad. Like it's just confusing. Hurts the brain a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what day is it? What's happening? I have no idea what's even happening right now.
Yeah. What if I dream of only 10 hours? Yeah, I bet. Like,
So
'cause
how
your
long
flights
are your like a one shot kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like what's the average? I think the longest one we've ever done was 12 hours, and that was to Korea,
Yeah,
South Korea.
yeah. It was 12-ish.
And it sucked because it was 12 hours ish to South Korea, and then we had to hop on the plane from there to Japan. We flew over Japan, you could see it.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck, just drop us off. Like, you're killing me right now. You're killing me.
Yeah, we were on our way to Japan, and we had a layover in South Korea. So we fly over Japan, and we're like, there it is. And then we land, and then we get on another plane, and then we fly right back to Japan. We're like, what? That didn't make any sense.
Okay, we're back. It literally took me that long to reload this.
Okay,
first.
we're back. Oh, yeah, those were loading really slow. That
I
was
do
like,
not know why they were loading so slow.
but we're back. Which is good.
Okay, so here we are back in Kumar.
And we're back.
Da-da-da. And the next photo bunch here is awesome because it is the restaurant that was my favorite meal, Chez Hanzi. Hanzi is a artist, is like a famous artist in that area who has done a lot of this very distinct style work. And this restaurant was absolutely unfucking believable. Oh, good. You're about to ask my favorite meal was. This is it.
This is it.
Yo, it was cordon bleu, but it was veal and Munster cheese cordon bleu with ham in there. So it's like chicken cordon bleu is normally whatever kind of cheese, the ham in the chicken, which I love. But this was veal with the melty.
Yeah, veal and
My
monster.
mouth is watering right
Oh,
now.
it was so good.
Oh my god! And then the
On a
sauce
bed
on
of
top.
spatzel.
Yep, and it was super crispy on the outside, and then it has the spatzel here. Oh my
And
god!
they did it right.
Oh, with a delay, the last flight to London was 38 hours.
38 hours.
Well, that's definitely not a straight shot. That would be. I'm sure you had 2 layovers at least,
Yeah, that's
and that sucks.
Yeah.
That's a long traveling day. That sucks.
that's a long traveling day for sure.
Okay. Here is our snails. We got escargot.
Oh yeah. Look at him, escargot.
This is our awesome server who is super duper cute and very nice to us.
She was so nice.
Shannon got fish.
Mm-hmm.
Fish puzzle.
Poisson.
And then there is the traditional way that the escargot is served. I'd never had them like this before. It's like a little thing with all these little buckets where they put the little snail in there, and then they put oil and herbs and all that kind of shit, and then you just scoop them right out, which was pretty cool.
Oh, they were so good.
It was really good. I don't want to like snails. It sounds weird, but I do.
But they're good.
When they're cooked well, they are good.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the sad thing. We bought this cuckoo clock. There's a place, one store in Colmar has cuckoo clocks, and they're made in the Black Forest of Germany, about an hour or so away. And there's only 3 workshops that make cuckoo clocks to this day. They used to be a lot more popular back in the day, but they have 3 of them now. And we got this cuckoo clock. Let's see, is in the, okay, that is the only file. Let me see if I can zoom in. It's a Hansel and Gretel themed cuckoo clock. So you've got a fucking witch with the black cat on her head, the heart shutters, the fucking pretzels, which I love, and all the little hearts. Dun, 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 dun. The star. This is so awesome. You've got this witch is about to eat these kids. You know it's coming. And there's little
You
mushrooms.
know it's coming. Don't act like you don't even know.
And then these beautiful ironwork weights on it. It was so beautiful. This was our Christmas present to each other after a terrible, horrible Christmas. And when we were in Lyon, somebody broke into our car. All this shit was in the trunk because the only reason it was in the trunk is because it was like a fucking trek and a half to get to our room.
It was.
From where the car was, and there was like 8 million stairs. And we're like, we don't need to bring everything in. That's crazy. We'll just make sure nothing's visible in the front of the car, and we'll just put this shit in the trunk, and it'll be fine. Not fine. Someone smashed our window, got into the trunk, stole the cuckoo clock. And I'm really sad about it. It really bums me out, because I never had anything like that before, and it was like a special gift that we bought for each other. And it sucked. And I'm still not over it.
Yeah, no, that sucked.
I mean, we had the best trip. It's fine, you know, like I'm looking at the positives, but it still really sucks because this was an expensive piece. Yeah. And it was a special piece. I mean, look at it go. Look, she's got a witch on her head. I mean, a cat on her head.
Yeah, she's a little black cat
so
on her
cool,
head.
dude. Yeah. And yeah, so we had to deal with cops and fucking bunch of bullshit on our vacation, which was not super fun at all. It really sucked pretty bad. We had to get a new rental car, obviously, because it was all smashed. It just like ruined a lot of shit. But there's the cuckoo clock that we almost got.
That was the one.
So now we're on a boat tour. We did the La Petite Venice tour. So this is kind of cute. All of us on the boat.
Yeah. So the pictures from earlier, the bridge that we were looking off of, where the water was going underneath, it's that water. And it's La Petite Venice. And we got to ride a gondola.
And there's swans.
And there's swans.
Which are really pretty cool.
Yeah.
More bears. That was pretty.
It was real pretty. Yeah, and the guide, the little gondola driver, gave us some history on some stuff. That guy.
Yep.
Gave us some history on things. And he kept photobombing. Yeah, I see.
Yes, Sarah, my friend, did find it on a website, which is so awesome. It was really nice that she found. I posted on Facebook what happened, and my friend did find a link where you could actually purchase that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after this trip and after buying one, we can't justify buying another one. Unfortunately, plus shipping and everything, it was not cheap.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of money, but
yeah, it was like, was it 269 euros or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was about $300 anyway.
And normally we don't buy $300 things, but it was a special thing. We wanted one real special thing, and since we had a horrible Christmas, and we had already thought about even before Christmas, like instead of buying presents for each other, let's find presents for each other when we're out and about. We're like, it'll be fun. We'll go to the Christmas markets and I'll buy you $75 worth of stuff. You have a credit. And then, like, same for me. So we already discussed that we were going to do that for each other. And then we didn't end up really being able to spend too much time in Prague looking at stuff like that. And we saw this and we're like, this is the most special thing. This is so special. It would go great in our house. And it's just real special. And our Christmas sucked so many balls. So you know what? Let's just do
many
it.
balls.
Let's redeem Christmas by getting this really cool thing. It'll make it not as shitty. And then someone fucking stole it. Swear to
Just
God.
wasn't meant to be.
No.
This Christmas was just not meant
Just
to
throw all the Christmas in the trash.
be. Yeah.
The lead up to Christmas was nice because we decorated a lot and it was really, I felt very festive and joyous and everything, which was cool.
Look at we decorated.
Yeah, we did great. And then as soon as actual Christmas rolled around, it was fucking shitty. I know, it really did suck. Star, it
It
was.
sucked, but we
But
dealt
it's
with
okay.
it. We handled it.
We were like, oh, and we had a moment where we were like, fuck, and then we're like, all right, we're moving along. It happens. I'm not gonna let it ruin our entire life or anything like that. It was just very irritating. And poor Shannon bought a whole bunch of souvenirs. Isis, shush. She just yells all the time. Okay, good night, Mama. Thank you for hanging out during Komar.
Oh, good night, Mindy.
I'm glad you stuck it out. I love you so much.
Hope you feel better.
Oh, yeah, right before we started the stream, Dusty told me that Kevin said you were having some weird shit with your ear going on, and like equilibrium was off and something. But I just found out, like, literally, we got home and started the stream, so I will check up on you tomorrow, but I hope that you're doing okay. That kind of sucks. That's a bummer. But I'm thinking of you, and I love you, and I'm glad you hung out tonight. But, okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, we're going down the river. Hooray. These tunnels were extremely short. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow, Mom. Go get some good rest. I hope you wake up feeling totally rejuvenated tomorrow. Let's cross our fingers. Yeah, these tunnels, they're like, okay, we're going through these tunnels. Everybody duck. Like, if you don't duck, your head's coming off, man. It's not good. So, it was pretty nice. And it was at sunset, which was cool. So we're on a little sunset boat tour, which was absolutely adorable. Okay, there you go. So that's Komar. That's the main, actually, I think there's more Komar pictures after this. But the next day, we were like, oh, let's go to this other little town that looks really cute. And we were like, okay, we've been in Komar for a minute. We kind of got the lay of the land. There's another town that's like cute that I can't pronounce the name.
Yeah, we were calling it Requiem because we were not real sure, but I think it's Requiem. I think is it.
Yeah, it's a German word,
Yeah.
hence, being German sometimes and being
Yeah,
French sometimes.
it's another German French, but it's a German word, and I think it's Requiem.
But we decided, hey, let's just go check it out. Almost everything was closed. But talk about gingerbread houses. Look at this fucking building that is decorated with like cookies and candy like a gingerbread house. Oh my God. And there's me super stoked with it right now. Pumped.
Definitely.
So pumped. Loved it. Look at this cute town. Oh my God, with the green and the red and then all the lights on the tower. And this was like a whole projection. It kept changing. It was so cute. So even though nothing much was open, there was a couple things open. It was still adorable to walk around. Christmas. These little alleys were adorable.
Yeah,
and
the
there's, like,
decorations and
animatronics.
yeah, oh yeah, the little animatronic Christmassy things. Yeah, the decorations, the Christmas decorations in this little village were super cool. They were on point, man.
Really cute. Similar to Komar, so it seems like that region has kind of a theme, but it was a little bit different. And then there was this, oh man, I wish it was open. It was like a museum of legends, like folklore museum, and there was a bunch of witches. This was outside of it. 1574, the building is from. I don't know what the hell it says up there, but it's cool. And then there's these friggin' witches hanging by the door. Which, by the way, speaking of getting robbed and having them smash our car, I bought 3 of these kinds of awesome witches. One of them I got from Prague, which was so awesome. It had a little stripy parasol thing, and she had a stripy dress, and she was like hanging from the little thing, and it was so cute. I got that in Prague, loved it. And then the other ones in Komar, there was these 2 super cute witches, and they had neon green hair. So obviously Tavia needed the witch. It looked just like her. So we a lot of times we'll get like 2 things. We'll get little fairies or witches or whatever. So one of them had like sparkly rainbow stars on the dress, and I was like, "Ooh, that's my witch." And then the other one was totally Tavia's witch, and they stole all 3 fucking witches.
That's how you get cursed. Kitchen witches.
Those are like thieves. They don't even care about witches. What do you care? They don't care.
Okay.
They're not worth money. What do they fucking care? They stole my fucking witches. I'm super sad about it. I loved them. But there you go. So those, were similar witches. Now they look like little kitchen witches. Loved it. So this town was cute, but it was almost impossible to find a place to eat
Yeah, it was rough.
in this town.
Yeah, everything was closed. We learned that apparently after New Year's, like all of January, France pretty much just closes down. And then the places that are open close down super early. And getting into a restaurant in dinner time is near impossible.
Yes.
And then
it
in this
was.
place, I don't know if it was because we were tourists or because we were American, or if it was just because it was late or something, but people were being rude, and like we were trying to go in and get food, and like we got so many just like hands in the face, like just told no, we can't come in. Like, you're not
No, it's
allowed,"
not
and, like,
possible. This guy's hand up, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, we just want food." It
Yeah.
was sad,
It
man.
was weird.
It was a super bummer.
This place was where we experienced like the rude French stereotype. This was where most of that
Unfortunately,
was
yeah.
from.
Yeah,
It was weird, even though they had tables open and then people were eating, and we could not get sat. But
No.
we did finally find one restaurant
the last restaurant,
that let us in.
the fucking last one that we checked, and I was like, "If this place will not give us a table, we'll have to go back to Komar and we'll figure it out. It's
Yeah.
fine." And we knew we had like cheese and bread and stuff like that back at the house.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna starve to death, but still, we wanted to sit down and have a nice dinner.
Yeah, we
and they
wanted,
were
a
like, "No."
dinner. Yeah. But the place that let us
Okay.
in, they were super nice, and their food was really good, and their wine was good.
It was so good. Actually, I think
fancy.
there's photos that will come up in here of our dinner. Oh my god, look how cute it is. It's so fucking cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the restaurant. This is the outside of the restaurant, which I was like, well, this looks really cute. That sounds good. Duck à l'orange. I
Ooh.
got duck à l'orange. I don't even know what it was, but I know that it's super French.
Yeah, it was so super
It
French.
sounds good. I like duck and I like orange, so that sounds great. But I didn't even know. I was just like, oh, okay, I've heard of that. Like, let's do it. And
Yeah.
it was really
It was real
good. It was real yummy. So, and this was like a potato, thinly sliced potato, like pie slice type of thing. I don't even know.
Yeah, it
what
was weird.
is.
It was good.
It was fucking good.
We couldn't figure out what it was.
And then that was yours. It was like stew kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it was
spassel?
stew, some kind of like, was it beef or venison? I think it was venison and spatzel with the gravy. Like Nuckin said, the gravy flows heavily
It
on
does.
things.
Oof. Which
A
is
lot
so
of gravy.
good.
It was real good.
And then Shannon got a steak. And we got German chocolate cake because I was like, oh my god, we're so close to Germany.
Yeah, the
It's been
German Black
Germany.
Forest cake.
I was like, I wanted Black Forest cake. We're close to the Black Forest, and it was real freaking good.
That was good. There were just whole like sour cherries in it.
It was
good.
fucking phenomenal. So yeah, that was a pretty cute place. We're so glad somebody gave us a table. They were
Yeah.
very nice in there too. They were absolutely very nice.
They were super nice.
So then the next day, we headed out. Actually, where's all the rest of the photos though? Of like the nighttime ones with like Shannon doing her topless thing. I thought there was more cool night photos of Colmar. That's weird. But if I back up, I'm gonna have to fucking
don't
reload
back
them.
up.
I'm not backing
I'm
up.
sure they'll pop up. Don't even worry.
But okay, here is Switzerland. We were like, all right, we're driving to Lyon, France, but you can either go straight through France, which is the boring, or you can go around and go to Switzerland. And we're like, fuck yeah, we want to go to Switzerland, a whole other country. Let's do it, rock and roll.
Yup.
And it was really interesting because it changed very distinctly, weirdly enough, the landscape
Yeah.
and the look from
Almost
France
instantly.
into Switzerland. We're like, it looks like Switzerland right now. Like, what? How did that just like switch like that? But it did. It totally did. Like, so different from the rest of France. And it's just these cute little tiny villages. This is like rocky cliffs over here. It was way cute. So we went into the gas station, and the fucking gas station has like all this good cheese. Like, just blocks. It's Gruyere cheese. Like, just like epic amounts of cheese at the gas station. And we were like, no way right now.
Yeah,
Are you
no
serious?
way.
And I got this cheese. Look at this. It's a rosette. It's like really thinly sliced and like smooshed together like a little rose type of thing. I don't even know what kind of cheese it was. I
No
couldn't read it.
idea.
It was a yummy white cheese
It
that
was
was
real
like
good, though.
like florally designed, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, there's the package of it. I was like, I don't know what that means, but it looks fun, so I'm gonna eat it. And it was really, really good. And also at the gas station, what the fuck? Look at all the meats they got.
Look at all
There
the
was
meat.
shitload of nice cheese and meats at the fucking gas station in Switzerland. Come on. And then the most cliche shit I've ever seen in my life, a whole giant basket of Ricola. Ricola. Like, it's so funny that there was like that much Ricola. You'd think that would be so cliche. This I thought was neat. Regular Capri Sun, and then a giant Capri Sun, like for adults. I already had a million drinks, so I didn't get it, but I just thought it was cool that there was a large
Yeah.
Capri Sun.
Adult Capri Sun.
Okay, here we are driving through Switzerland on the way. Switzerland is the land of perfectly stacked wood piles. Is it?
Is it?
Are they notoriously known for stacking their wood properly?
I don't think I
That's really interesting. I didn't notice
know
any.
if I noticed any wood
That's
piles.
that's cool. That's a nice little bit of trivia, though.
Maybe they were so perfectly stacked that they just didn't even stand out.
Apparently, Switzerland is the absolute safest country in the world. There is almost zero crime, like violent crime. Yeah, they said it's almost doesn't even register. There is barely any crime, really at all, and the murder rate is like nothing. Like, it's super duper safe. And this is a cool lake that is near the town of Interlaken, which we were hanging out
Interlaken.
trying to get to.
The Interlaken Lake.
And it was super pretty.
That water was super blue, too. It was like 2,000 flushes blue.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about 2,000 flushes forever. Yeah, you can kind of see in this photo a little bit here,
Yeah.
a little bit, how clear that it was, and that kind of blue tone. It was really, really pretty.
Yeah.
And then there's all these little like villages on the side of the mountain, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah.
It was really, really pretty. There was our car.
Oh, yeah, that's our fancy car that we got.
That's our fancy ass rental car.
The cheap rental car that we got.
Can't believe it. The one that got smashed. Okay, this is the town of Interlaken, which was super damn cute. And there's also hearts on the shutters. Oh,
Oh,
even though it is not close to where we were
those
before.
are candy bars.
They are.
They're like chocolate candy bars.
Oh, get it.
Swiss chocolate. Because there's almonds in the corner. They're like
You're
almonds with a
so
little candy heart.
right. I didn't even think about that before. That's so
Really,
cute.
really? Yeah, that's why I was pointing them out to you whenever we were there. I was like, look at candy bars. You know, Swiss
No, you're
chocolate.
right. That's so
Swiss
cute.
chocolate candy bar shutters.
So there's the goddamn Alps. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of people paragliding, which was cool. But the Alps were like next level.
Yeah.
So Interlaken, we found this church with like a legit witch broom.
Just a random
It was
witch
just sitting
broom.
there, and I was like, "Oh my god, we need to take pictures."
And
of this shit."
whenever Shannon picked it up, she did her witch cackle, which is the loudest witch cackle you've ever heard in your entire life. And I
It
was
was so
walking up.
good.
I was walking up to read the sign next to the door, and the door was an automatic door that I didn't know about. So whenever I walk by it to read the sign, the door just like opens, and right when the
And
door
she's cackling.
opens to this chapel, she's just like ah, and starts like cackling like right as the door opened. And I was like, "You're just cackling into a church right now, like that."
Like a loud,
And
good witch
super
cackle. It was
loud
great.
witch cackle. It was good.
Oh yeah, Sarah, you're like that. There's the goddamn Alps.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, there's the goddamn Alps there. All the single women, yeah, with their heart shutters.
Yup. Yeah, this is just real pretty.
It was real pretty. That one, I was really glad that we went through there. After hanging out in this little place, like I really want to go back to Switzerland. Like the couple people we met were super nice.
They were really
like this
nice.
little town. Like I want to go back to this little town and hang out. Really, I just want to go back and have fondue at that place.
Look
But
at these.
we learned that there's a fondue season. Fondue season. There it is.
Fondue!
Look, it's in season. It's perfectly ripened right now.
During the winter months, they have fondue season, which I never thought about ever.
Never thought about that.
Every season is fondue season to me.
Yeah, like, we were joking. I was like, "What is it? Is the fondue like spawning right now? Like is it like fondue season? Everybody's catching fondue left and right now." But
All I wanted was fondue,
Warm
and when I
weather.
was sick before we went on the trip, I was like, okay, if I get sick, like if I don't feel good, if my body's not acclimated yet to eating regularly after I get my gallbladder out, I was like, I'm eating the fondue anyway. I'm just gonna like throw it out there that there's a couple things that like I will take the consequences for the experience. And I was like, I'm gonna eat fondue regardless of any other factors. And I was so happy that I'm totally fine. I was able to eat the most fondue. The most.
and we did.
I ate, and I think I was the last man standing with the fucking fondue, man. I was into
This
it.
was a bottomless pot of fondue.
bottomless
They
pot.
were doing free refills on fondue.
Yep, we're like, more fondue, please. And they brought it to us. It was so great. It was so good. So it's kind of cool how we found this place. There was this like little outdoor walk up bar area that Shannon went and grabbed a drink. I got a little mulled wine, which was so fucking good. And we were like, hey, so we were supposed to go to fondue place in Geneva. I looked it up. I tried to look up the best fondue, and I called to see if we needed a reservation, and they were like, oh yeah, it's closed. The restaurant's closed for 2 weeks for the holiday. I was like, that did not say that in your website. I hate you. Where am I going to get fondue? What am I going to do?
Right.
So we asked the guys at the bar, I'm like, look, we got asked out on our fondue. Like, do you have any recommendations of where we should do fondue? And he's like, absolutely, you are in the right place right here. And we're like, what? There was this little, like, wooden cabin looking thing that was just on the main drag right there next to this little walk up bar. And he's like, it opens at, what was it, 6 or something like that, or 5, whatever time it was. He's like, it opens in about an hour. And actually, I'm like the one in charge. He's like, I'm pretty much like the owner, essentially. He wasn't the financial owner, but he was running it. And he's like, trust me, this is going to be the best. And we're like, okay. Like, are you sure it's the best? And he's like, open that door, pop your head in that door, and check this place out, and tell me you don't want to eat fondue in there. And I was like, okay. So I opened the door, and I was like, it was this cute little lodge. It was like a little chalet lodge. And I was like, yes, I want to eat fondue here. And he's like,
That's
okay.
the only place I want to eat fondue, turns out.
Bread and potatoes were the only things that they gave you to dip, which that was one thing where I was like, damn, I wish there was like broccoli or some other kind of veggies or something like that.
I wanted apples.
Oh, and the
I wanted
apples, yeah.
apples really bad.
Yeah,
But either way, bread and potatoes were really good.
it was so good.
And then that little clear glass that's sitting there next to the potatoes, The guy, it was the same guy that was telling you to go in, right?
No, it was the guy
the
who
other
was
one?
the chef.
Oh yeah.
The chef guy.
He was like, if you really want to try something, we have a cherry schnapps, and if you dip the bread in the cherry schnapps and then dip it in the fondue, it changes everything. Like it's a whole new situation, and we're like, okay, yeah,
The way he described it, he's like, you eat it and it's like, and we're like, okay.
all right.
guess
I
I'll
love
try
I love that. I like Pop Rocks. Let's go. I mean, but it definitely changed everything. It was good.
It was intense.
my first one, I was like took my bread and I just like soaked it in the schnapps and then like dipped it in the cheese and took a bite, and I essentially took like 2 shots of schnapps in that one bread and it was
Instantly wasted.
it was like,
on that.
whoa man, okay, maybe we don't soak the bread in the schnapps.
Just dip a little bit. Beep. But yeah, it was
But it was real good.
It was pretty good. But man, I loved it.
The
I loved that
cheese
we
was
had
real
the
good, though.
inside man. You know, we got the like hookup. We asked the right people.
Yeah.
Where should we have fondue? And he was like, at my establishment. That's literally right next to
You
you. And
should
I
eat
was
it
like,
right here
come
next to me.
on, we're doing it. So here's Shan with the fondue. I felt victorious eating the fondue. Oh, that's
Mm.
our friend who was like, eat the schnapps, and it's like,
Oh yeah, he was the guy with the
He's so
with the
nice.
cherry schnapps. Super nice. And then the other guy is super nice as well. They're both
they were
Awesome.
so
awesome.
nice.
people.
And we're now Facebook friends. We're like friends with them. They're
Yeah.
great. They're
Oh yeah,
fucking
we're
great.
friends now. We
We're
go
totally
way back.
friends. So outside of this establishment, in between the bar is over here, and then this is the chalet right over here. There was this fucking gigantic cauldron hanging over a fire, and we're like, "What's in the cauldron, dude? We need to know." There is a steaming, fiery cauldron.
How many children you got in there?
What we got going on? And he's like, "Oh, it's soup." I'm like, you have a cauldron of soup. He's like, it's been cooking all day. We just do it in the morning. It cooks all day, and then it's ready for dinner time. And we're like, whatever that is, we need that. It's an emergency.
You got cauldron soup? I'm in.
Cauldron soup. Oh, this is the guy,
That's the other guy.
Patrick, who is the main boss guy there.
Super nice guy.
And there's Shannon outside of it. Look how cute it is from the outside. It's freaking great. With the hearts and the shutters. I didn't even notice that till right now. Did you notice that?
No.
Little heart.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, right. That's so cool.
That's awesome. Okay.
And then there's, of course, close up on the soup cauldron.
Soup cauldron.
And there's this friggin' soup that has just been cooking in there all day. It was so good. Brought a salad. And I just got so many pictures on the inside because it was so cute. Des Alpes restaurant. And there was just the Alps, just right out the door, just Alping it up.
Yeah, that's the view from this restaurant.
Yep. And there's us with the
Hanging out with
cauldron.
cauldron.
Oh my God. Okay. This one. Hold on before we get into that one. Okay.
Oh my God.
So we did. I know. There's no warning. It's just next.
Yeah. We
So
don't know what's happening.
okay. So we did that. We were just went through for the day. We didn't spend the night or anything like that. We were just traveling through on the way to Lyon. So we went, got some souvenirs, ate the fondue, had a lovely time. It was super fun. And then we were like, okay, we have to head to Lyon to our Airbnb destination. So we stayed until the sun went down, and then we're like, okay, we've got a couple-hour drive, no big deal. So we're driving, and Dusty was like, we should find somewhere to pull off just to kind of like stretch our legs a little bit, whatever. So he just types in like into Google Maps, graveyard. Because we love going to graveyards and cemeteries at night or at any time, really. Like, we just love checking them out. So he's like, okay, well, if we're going to just stretch our legs, let's do like a little graveyard thing. So he just types in graveyard, closest graveyard, whatever, randomly navigates to this graveyard.
Yeah, and we're like in the middle of nowhere,
It's
really, in Switzerland.
small
Like, we're in, like,
town in
nowhere.
Switzerland. Yeah, it's not like a main city or anything like that. We're like, there's this giant lake, and there's this small town, and there's this graveyard. So let's do it. So we park, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. We're gonna stretch our legs. Shannon, she had fallen asleep in the car, and we woke her up. We're like, hey, we're just gonna walk around this graveyard for a few minutes, stretch our legs. Do you want to come? And she was like, nah, I was just sleeping. Like, I'm good. I'm just gonna chill while you guys do that. And we're like, okay. So we go, and we walk into the gate, and it's really small. It is like a really small
Super
place. There was
tiny.
maybe, I don't know, 60 people buried there or something like that. It was really not very big. And we're walking around. Like, okay, well, it's not gonna take us very long to like investigate this spot because it's so fucking small. And we walk back to the back section, and I see a grave that says Audrey Hepburn. And I was like, well, that's weird. That there's somebody else named Audrey Hepburn.
Weird.
That's like super fucking weird, right? And then I look and there's a fucking photo of Audrey Hepburn. And I'm like, no fucking way. There's no way. It's probably somebody named after Audrey Hepburn, whatever. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That we just found Audrey Hepburn in the middle of nowhere in Switzerland. Well, alas, it is the Audrey Hepburn. We had to look it up on the internet to confirm the dates and to look up and be like, is this Audrey? Like, the Audrey Hepburn, man.
Yes, like the Audrey Hepburn.
And it was straight up like, Audrey Hepburn is buried in this small town in Switzerland where she lived for like 30 years or whatever, and she didn't want to be buried in Hollywood with all the rest of the Hollywood stars. She wanted to be in her hometown in the smallest cemetery you've ever seen, in a tiny little town that we just happened to navigate
You're
to.
having to wander in, and like the
Randomly.
parking lot next to it that we parked in, like I think it was like a high school or something. Like it looked like a school or something. We just parked in this parking lot and walked around and walked over to the cemetery that was next to it, and it's freaking Audrey Hepburn.
It's so buttery. Audrey Hepburn is a very famous actress. Back in the day, she was one of like the famous actresses in like the
Like
50s, 40s, 50s, or whatever.
yeah,
Well, I guess she was born
40s.
in the 1929,
Yeah, it's like
so
the
late 40s, early
40s to the
50s,
60s.
like Marilyn Monroe
Yeah.
era, like one of the most famous women in Hollywood, like Hollywood starlet history.
Yeah. Ever.
Ever.
Like Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't watch old movies, like I'm not an old movie watcher generally, but I still like am familiar with her. Was very loved by, by everybody back in those days.
Like the following that Marilyn Monroe has, Audrey Hepburn has that following. Like
She just
She's
didn't get
loved.
as famous, I think, because she didn't die super young, and it wasn't a whole tragic thing, and she wasn't banging the president.
yeah, she didn't get media famous like that, but was just one of the very first like superstars back in the day.
Here's the like photo
Sure.
of her back in the. She was very beautiful. And very, very loved.
People loved
And
the
it
shit
was
out of her.
just so fucking random.
Yeah, it was
And it's
super
funny
random.
because when I realized that it was Audrey fucking Hepburn, I sent Shannon a message. She's in the car. And I was like, Shannon, we just found Audrey Hepburn. And I sent her the photo, and she's like, coming
like, "I got it."
immediately. And she popped up, and she was like, no fucking way. She's like, Audrey is like one of my absolute favorites. She's like, Marilyn is number one. And under that, like, of the women of all time, is Audrey Hepburn. I didn't know that she loved her that much. I had no idea that like
No
she was
idea.
like dear to her heart. Like she loved her, and I'm like, we just found her
Just randomly
body
found her.
in Switzerland, and Shannon's mind was fucking blown, dude. She was super mind blown.
Yeah. We were all mind blown. We're all like, what?
All of it.
Like, and yeah, it's just like this tiny little village. Like there was not much in this
Nothing.
little town. Like nothing. And yeah, this cemetery, like less than 100 people buried there. Tiny little thing. And I was just like she was saying, like we're just driving along. Shannon's asleep and she's like dozing off, and like I'm just kind of like rolling along in the dark, singing along to whatever. And I'm like, I just want to stretch my legs and like get out for a minute and like hang out and like get out of the car for a second. So I just like in the navigation, like since I'm driving, I can't like do any research and see like what's around or whatever. So I just put in like cemetery, and the first one that popped up, I was like, closest cemetery, it's on the path that we're on, so we don't have to go off anywhere. And I was like, cemetery, that one. So we just go and then roll up in there, and it's like, here's Audrey Hepburn. We're like, what?
What the fuck?
No
it was
way.
Super weird.
It's
And yeah,
real
way
weird.
back, Breakfast at Tiffany's, super
Breakfast at
famous
Tiffany,
movie.
yeah.
And then Astara, absolutely. We
Yeah.
learned a little bit more about her being like a humanitarian. She like fought
Mm.
like on the side of the, was it the Dutch or something, and fought. I don't remember the details, but she also gave a lot back to the community, and she was like a very prominent figure, not only just as an actress, that's how she got famous, but she used her powers for good, essentially. So that was like super fucking cool to like find her.
For sure. But yeah, and you think about like out of all the celebrities, Audrey is one that would be buried in Hollywood. Like if you're thinking like where am
Totally.
I going to go see Audrey Hepburn's grave? We're going to Hollywood. She's definitely going to be buried in Hollywood. And no.
Oh, Plain Toast.
Hooray, it's Plain Toast.
Hi, Plain Toast.
Yay.
Thank you so much for
Thanks for that
resubbing. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're here.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Welcome
I was hoping
in.
you'd pop in.
Yeah, thanks for popping in and saying hi. We're back after a long month
We're back.
of not streaming.
Yeah.
So,
And
welcome back.
we're talking about randomly finding Audrey Hepburn's grave in a tiny little town in Switzerland. Just rolled up on that.
Super random is the most random shit.
Yeah. But yeah, you think that she would be in Hollywood. Like I never would have guessed that she would be anywhere other than Hollywood. Like buried in Hollywood somewhere. But nope. Random little town in Switzerland apparently.
Yeah, and we read about it that since she lived in Switzerland for the last like chunk of her life, she wanted to get away from Hollywood and all the, you know, paparazzi and all of that stuff. She just wanted to live a more simple life. So she and her husband lived in Switzerland for like 30 years and just chilled out. And she specifically wanted to be buried in the town that she loved.
Yeah.
And apparently they said that the town tried to capitalize on the fact that she was buried there after the fact. They made like a little museum and they were like, come see Audrey Hepburn, come to our town, give us your tourist money, and you know, come check out Audrey Hepburn's grave. And apparently it didn't really catch on. Like it didn't draw the support that they were hoping that it would, so they were like, okay, never mind, she's here if you
Well,
want
it's
to
a
come.
tiny little like middle of nowhere thing. Like it's not near anything really touristy. Like it's like especially, you know, Americans generally are the ones following Hollywood. Like there's, you know, other countries and stuff are following Hollywood, but Hollywood is like very American. So if anybody is going to see Audrey Hepburn, it's probably going to be Americans, would be the tourists that would be going to see it. But getting there, like, no one's going to this little village. Like, Americans getting there is not like an easy thing. Like, we drove, it was a couple hours for us to get there, and it just happened to be along the way of where we were going. But, like, to go there as a destination, nobody's doing that. So you're not going to make it a touristy thing. Like, that's
Totally.
not built for that.
No, it's not in the main city. It's like off the beaten path, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It definitely didn't draw the crowd that they were hoping to
Yeah.
get, you know. But we found her.
We found, we accidentally found
At
Audrey
midnight.
Hepburn, and that was, in the middle of the night,
Randomly.
and it was kind of rainy and like misting, and it was like, when we walked up on it, we were like looking, and Sammy and I are like, no way.
Yeah, no, there's no
No.
way. And then we
'Cause,
looked it up and we're like,
at
wait,
first we
dude.
were like, it was like, somebody's got the same name as Audrey Hepburn. That's weird. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
wait, there's a picture of Audrey Hepburn on it. Like, wait a minute. It was
It
fucking
was
weird.
so cool.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of random shit happen in my life, random serendipitous stuff, but that was just so random. Like that was almost hard to believe that happened. And then somebody, when I posted on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends was like, when I saw you were in Switzerland, I thought about telling you about that if you wanted to go, but I just
Yeah.
didn't mention it.
Yeah.
And they're like, looks like you found her anyway. I was like,
Yeah,
yes,
we found her.
We did. Maybe she's trying to communicate with you for some unfinished business.
Oh, Lily, good night to you.
Oh, Astara, good night.
Thank you so much for hanging out.
We're so glad that you came and hung out with us, and I'm glad that you enjoyed our tales,
Yeah,
which is awesome. I'm so glad that you've been coming and hanging out. We really appreciate it.
definitely.
You're so sweet.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
And sweet dreams.
Yeah,
we'll see you
good
soon.
night. We'll see you back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But speaking of Wednesday, I was wondering, since it is almost 11:30, I was wondering if maybe we should do part 2 on Wednesday, where we can cover the rest of the stuff, because we still have Leon
Yeah, because we got a lot.
Yeah,
to go.
we have Lyon, we've got Carcassonne, and London,
Hmm.
Harry Potter Studios.
Yeah, because we did. Okay, so far we've done Prague, Nuremberg, Colmar, and Switzerland.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're about halfway.
I think that would, yeah, because
That's
I don't want to
probably
rush through it, like,
yeah.
and I don't want to go forever. Even
Yeah.
Sarah's like, yeah, I would love that because I'm getting
Yeah.
sleepy.
No,
I
it's
kind of
kinda-
am too, you know. It's
Yeah.
been
I was thinking
my
the
brain's-
same thing. Like, and yeah, it would be a long stream if we're gonna hit all of that.
yeah.
There's no way we're gonna hit
Let's
all
do
that,
let's
but,
do part 2
Yeah.
on
We'll end-
Wednesday.
We'll end on Audrey Hepburn, which is perfect.
What would Audrey Hepburn's message be if there is one?
Come to Switzerland.
I don't. You know what? What I would take from it is it's about the little things in between. It's like life's a journey, not a destination. Because there's shit in between that you will never see if you don't actually stop and smell the roses and go and see the little things. I mean, there's point A and there's point B, and a lot of people just keep zooming from one thing to the other, and they don't think about at midnight stopping by a random cemetery in the middle of Switzerland. You know, a lot of people get their sights set on these main points, and then there's a lot of things in between that can easily be missed. But if you're paying attention and if you're open to experience whatever is there, like sometimes you find Audrey Hepburn in the night. You
Yeah.
know, you never know what you will find if you actually are open to looking for it. Like that's kind of what I would take from that.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, her being as famous as she was and being all over Hollywood and then deciding that this tiny little place in Switzerland is where she wants to be, I think that her message would be something along the lines of, extravagance is fun and it's exciting, but it's the simplicity that holds the heart and holds the soul. Like those tiny little things is where you find your community and where you find, the things that you can truly love that are real.
Find where you belong, not where the world wants you to
Yeah.
belong. Like, oh, obviously she would be buried in LA. It's like, why? I'm a person. Just
Yeah.
because I was this figurehead doesn't mean that that's who I am, you know? There's a lot more
Yeah.
to the individual. So you follow your heart and you go where you feel like you belong, and you call the shots with that. Just because it's
Yeah.
expected for you to do certain things doesn't mean that you have to actually do them.
Yep. Do as you will,
It's
not
pretty
what
good.
you're expected to do. Yeah.
Boom. Yep, that was pretty good. I like that. That was a good question, Eli.
Good
that
question.
was good. I like that. So yeah, we just saw it from 2 different angles. I like it.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Oh, buttery, that sucks.
Yeah.
Are you on Spotify?
Well, you listen to
us right now?
Spotify and just like watching us talk on mute.
Yeah, that's weird. Or did you mean?
I do
Switch.
sound better on mute, so I speak in mute anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
Well, since we're getting to the end of part 1 here, do you guys have any questions
Yeah.
or any I don't know, anything that you want to know about any of the places that we covered?
Thoughts,
Ask away.
thoughts, questions.
Yeah, about the culture,
Sorry.
about the landscape, about the food or whatever.
Sarcastic
if there's,
remarks.
or even just like traveling in general. Like if you guys have any questions, lay it on us. And if not, that's totally fine too. But we'll just give you guys an option. You got me.
Or you can be like, fuck no, I'm going to bed. And that's totally fine.
What does Europe smell like? That is an awesome question. I say it definitely depends what areas you're at, but I would say it smells like fucking street food. It's awesome. There's so much food everywhere. There's street food. There's sweets on the street, and then there's like, I don't know, there's like a million different food items everywhere that they just sell on the street all the time. So I feel like
Yeah.
it smells like food,
Yeah.
which makes you hungry all the time.
Yeah, and most of our Airbnbs and our car rides, since we carried that Munster cheese across multiple countries, it smelled like Munster cheese. Really,
It did. It was. We
because
honestly were like, we
every
need to
time
eat
we
that rest of
opened
the
the
cheese.
fridge, it was just like, there's Munster. Man, that's a
It
Munster
was
monster.
super smelly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely felt like, oh man, we need to eat that so we can just be done with it at this point because it's so smelly. So sadly, it was smelly for a little while. But
Smelling
generally speaking, oh man, it smells like mulled wine and
Yeah.
pastries. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like,
Sausage,
Piss out
cheese,
here.
bread, and mulled wine.
yeah.
Yeah, all good. All good.
And then Sarah, did
y'all
you
sleep
sleep
in?
in at all?
Not.
It depends
a
on
couple
whose
times,
standards, because some
yeah.
people they're like, it's 8 a.m. We're doing all these things, so we're on vacation. We definitely didn't do that.
But for us, like, we woke up early. For us,
For our
every
standards,
time,
yeah, we would
like,
set the
yeah.
alarm for like 10 ish or so. Sometimes it was like 9:30. We'd set the alarm and we would try to like get up and go. Sometimes with the Airbnbs, we had to be out. There was a couple that we had to be out at 10,
Yeah.
which sucked, and then the other ones were out at 11. So that was like early for us to wake up and be packed and be dressed and be out the fucking door.
Our running joke is that the only time we wake up early is when we're on vacation. Right? Because we got shit to do, or we have to leave the Airbnb. So-
That was hard
So
for
one
us.
of the two,
Though.
or just difficult.
It was really hard. So we made sure we would pack the night before because we moved around a lot. So we had to have our shit packed. Like I'm not gonna wake up in the morning and try to pack all the shit. So the night before, I'd pack everything, lay my clothes out, and then we'd get up and have a cup of tea, and then
Yeah.
get ready and leave. But like, to us, 10 is not sleeping in.
That's not sleeping in at all.
No. So that was
Like,
it was a little.
that's
little
setting
tough.
the alarm and then battling to get out. But there was a couple times where I guess we were just so excited to do things. Like there was one morning we woke up, like I woke up at like 9 a.m. one morning, no alarm, no nothing, and couldn't sleep and was just like, I guess I'm awake. Like, I guess I'm doing things now. So, and then she was, woke up like right behind me. I was like, I can't sleep. I was like, me either. It's like, I guess we're up. Let's get up. Let's do something. I guess, which doesn't happen. That's never
No, it
happened
was
once in my
weird.
lifetime.
And even with waking up on the earlier end, it was like 9 or whatever. By the time we got dressed and had tea and like got our shit together, it was at least 11 o'clock before we even got out the door.
Yeah, for sure.
So
But there
we're not
was
good at mornings.
Once or two, maybe three times where we stayed out late and then didn't have anything super pressing the next day, so we did sleep in a little bit, and like woke up at noon or something like that. And then by the time we left, it was like 1 or 1:30 before we kind of wandered out of the Airbnb. But only 2, maybe 3 times did that happen out of any of it.
Yeah, waking up early on vacation, it sucks. But if we wake up at the time that I normally wake up, I would miss everything. So I have to make sure that like I'm up earlier than normal. But I mean, some people like they do tours and stuff like that. They book these tours and you have to be there at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We fucked up one time. We went to Delphi when we were in Greece, which is like one of the most historic sites in the world. And I wanted to go real fucking bad. So we like booked this tour and you had to be at the hotel for pickup. It's not the hotel we stayed at, but they were doing like a pickup from this hotel at 8. And I was like, "Ooh, man, I don't want to do. I'm on a vacation. Why do we need to do it at 8? It's so unnecessary to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. But if we want to go, we got to do it." And it was like the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my fucking life. It was
It was rough,
hard.
especially because we, not being good at waking up, we wake up last minute and then we're like scrambling and then we have to like walk like a ways. I think it was like a 20-25 minute walk for us to get over there. So like we're
And we're
walking
like,
and like we're like hurrying, but we're like asleep the whole way and just like, what is happening? And just like stopped and grabbed a coffee to go. We're just like slamming this coffee and walking. And we're like, we're never gonna make it. We're gonna be so late. And like we got there right on time and we made it. And Delphi was fucking amazing.
It was
but
awesome.
was
But next time
very
we're renting a
difficult.
fucking car and going ourselves.
Yeah.
At a
No more 8 a.m.
reasonable
tours.
fucking time
That's-
to wake up
we can't
to have
do
to
that.
wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 on vacation. And the worst part of that was the whole tour was done by like I think it was 2 p.m.
Yeah, it was super early.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck? Do it at 11 and then be done at 4 or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
why?
understand. Like, it was not necessary in any way to do it that early, but it was the only option. It was the
Yeah.
only, there was no other time slots. It was like, if you want this fucking tour, you
wanna
want to
do
go to
it.
Delphi,
Yeah.
8 a.m. And I'm like, oh
I'm
my
like,
God. I
"Ugh."
want to go so bad that
Yeah.
I will tough it out, but it just pissed me off, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
But then also on this trip, like especially being winter time and them being around the same latitude that we're at, so like here, like it gets dark, in the winter time,
4:30.
4:30, like it's dark, like you can't really see anything. So if you want to see anything in the daytime, you've got to be up and you got to be doing some things. So over there, same thing. So we had to make sure that we were actually out during the daytime to be able to do some things and see some things, and that was
It was more motivating.
one of the more
because of that.
one of the more
I don't want to
motivating things.
waste it. I don't want to squander our time,
Yeah,
But I'm also not going to be anywhere at 8 in the morning either. Shut
yeah,
up.
we're
I'm
not doing
it.
that.
So
But
it was our version of
Yeah.
waking up early, but also not too early. So
Yeah.
it's that sweet spot.
so yeah, we would try and aim to be out of our Airbnb by 11 esque in there, 10:30 to 11:30.
Yeah.
we were generally out and about.
Yeah. And then it was
Wow.
great. Go get
Which
a
was-
coffee and
We're
a
good.
fucking croissant or something and be good to go. It's
Mhm.
great. Oh, I'm excited to do part 2 on Wednesday. That'll be really good. We'll
Yeah.
cover more fun stuff.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
for sure.
And yeah, let's.
And for I was
but-
just thinking of as far as like waking up early, one thing that I'm super proud about is that I kept my meditation routine the whole time
yes,
that we were there.
You
I did not fuck up, even with the time changes on the plane and everything, and my app that counts like the days and it knows like when you're doing it. I didn't fuck up, and today I hit day 510 in a row. So I hit
That's so
510 days
awesome.
in a row meditating, and this whole trip I did not fuck up. I meditated at least 10 minutes every day, and I was proud of that
Good job.
because I was like, I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna fuck that up, but I did it.
No, you didn't. You did a great job. I
Yeah.
love it.
Thanks.
So he would make sure that he
Sorry,
woke up
go on.
first,
Yeah.
which was awesome. He woke up and then went and did his thing, and then we all got up and everything. So
Yeah.
good job.
Hooray.
Yay.
Go me. I'm proud of me.
Yeah.
High five me.
Yeah. Cool. This was so fun. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it. Thank
Yeah.
you for all being here. I appreciate it so much. I'm so glad on our first stream back we had a really nice turnout. It was really, really cool. So yeah, come back on Wednesday. It'll be perfect. We'll do part 2. It'll be super, super fun.
Yeah, that'll be
So,
great.
Let's do it.
And then we'll move into more of France.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get
France.
more of France. There's
More
some
France.
awesome shit that we saw
Yeah.
in France. Because this was like German France.
Yeah.
But then we're going to go to like full blown, like Francie pants.
Francie pants.
Francie
We're
pants.
getting Francie pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I want something super mellow right now. What if we do Turtles and Chill?
We can do some turtles and chill. That's
Let's
what I
do
was
some
thinking.
Turtles and Chill right now.
You guys ready for some turtles and chill?
Let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
chill so hard with some turtles. And yeah, for everybody going to bed, turtles love going to bed.
Yes.
Turtles and chill. It's all just spelled out, right? Turtles and chill.
Let me see.
I want to make sure I'm spelling that right. It's hard to raid if you don't know how to spell. Turtles and chill.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the one.
Or turtle sand chill.
Nope. Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And let's go check out some turtles and just
Just chill.
chill.
Chill with some turtles. We love
It's
it.
really nice to be back. We really missed you guys.
Yeah.
And as much as we wanted to stream out there, it was like not even possible with the time difference and everything. It was just
No.
like not.
And the Wi-Fi
Gonna
signal and
happen.
everything was not going to be good for us in a bunch of places.
And
so-
hauling all of our shit.
and hauling
so-
everything around. I don't want
We just needed a break. We took a break. But I'm
Yeah.
genuinely very glad to be back with
Yeah.
all you guys. So thanks for listening to our stories. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for coming back when we
Yeah.
did. Thanks for not forgetting about us.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And thanks for all the resubs. I really appreciate that too.
Yeah, you guys are all
It's
awesome.
awesome. Okay, guys. Well, we will see you soon on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
All
Bye.
Bye.